telling me to look it up. Is that what you're trying to say?
Fuji go high. Stopping in, we've been tapping in. We ain't never late, dropping gems, we've been locking in. Now let's elevate, took else to win, running laps again. This is steady race, people's champ, boy, yeah, you know I've been a heavyweight. Stopping in, we've been tapping in. We ain't never late, dropping gems, we've been locking in. Now let's elevate, took else to win, running laps again. This is steady race, people's champ, boy, yeah, you know I've been a heavyweight.
What's going on, y'all? It is episode 46 or 47? 46?
47.
47 of them things. Heavyweight bros in the building. You already know how we do. It is
Andre Karolinko.
Was that 47? AK-47?
AK-47.
I like that. Let that thing ring. You know what I'm saying? Let that chopper sing. It is May 14th, Saturday, late night.
Good mood.
I am your host, as always, the diabolical diabetic, the 5XL assassin, your boy, the big nasty. And to my right is the sucker supreme, the COVID commander. Yeah, Coach Muck, the freaking deacon, the burnt up dumpling.
Let's get this out.
Uncle Raisin. How are you doing, Raisin?
Get this out the way. I am doing well.
I hope you are now.
Joel is also doing well.
I'm doing better.
Okay. All right. Why do you sound like a scarred person?
Why don't you tell why? Get it out the way.
Unfortunately, I was a bit under the weather last episode. And that under the weather was not a common cold, and it was not the flu, and it happened to be my second go around with COVID. I did, full disclosure, let Joel know I was not feeling well if we want to move the pod. He was like, "Nah, if you're good to go, I'm good to go." I was like, "You sure?" He was like, "Yes."
You literally said, "It's just a little sniffle. All I got is a little sniffle." It
was a little sniffle. That's all it was a little sniffle. It wasn't no head colds, no shakes, no nothing like that. But I did say I am feeling a little different. We had the pod. I took a test that night.
The next night,
and it came back positive. And then Joel tested positive. So that's why you guys missed an episode. So I apologize. I have apologized to Joel several times, regardless of his good health and how well he made it through COVID. Still feel terrible that I was the reason that he got sick. So blame my head, not my heart. Is that how it goes? Yes, that's how it goes. How are you doing, sir?
Don't touch me. I was wondering if you could ask me.
You got 90 days now. It's you good for 90. You good for 90.
Well, my 2.5 year streak of not having COVID at all was finally broken.
Man, that's a good streak.
It was. It's almost like when you're like a basketball player and you have a streak of all played games, and then like Mark Blount like takes your knee out. And it's like, oh,
Mark Blount.
Yes, that's how I feel right now. I was hot, bro. Like, and then you were like, "Oh, we both got COVID. We can still record." I was like, "Yo, I'll sock this motherfucker if I see him." I'll tell you right now. Like,
it made perfect sense though. It made perfect sense, but I could tell that the energy was not there. He was like, "I'm not coming anywhere near you." I was like, "You already have COVID."
Thankfully I didn't have any of the extreme symptoms. All I really did have was a stuffy nose for like 2 days. Yeah. And like I'm pretty solid now, but I was.
Yeah. And thankfully, like the second go around was nothing like my first time. Like my first time around, it was dark. I was like I said, it's not like this, Lord. I thought it was over, but this time it was like I said,
we were doing our weekly test, and the nurse was like, "Yeah, so man, we were talking and shit. Yeah. Oh yeah, you gotta go." Like,
it happened at work.
They grab your stuff and like you need to leave the building. Wow. Yeah, I was like, and I got in the car. I was like, Raisin!
Yo, I can picture you actually doing that. Did you? Listen, I apologize for I don't know how many times, but I want the people to know that I'm sorry that I put my homie Joey Crack's life in danger.
Thank you. It means so much to me.
How are you feeling though?
I mean, I feel like I've wasted the past, because that's the thing is like, oh, like I don't have to work. That's dope. I can't hang out with anybody though. So it's like I was very stir crazy and had like a lot of cabin fever more than anything. Like I was just like,
okay,
because I'm restricted to my room, and it's just like it's not the most comfortable situation because like my room is pretty much built just to go to sleep.
Right.
And so that it's like I tried to play video games. I got through a bunch of TV shows. I wound up one of these days like I caved. Then I went to the movie theaters. Like I was just like I couldn't take it no more type of deal.
What?
Yeah, it got super nice this week, and I was like,
it was nice out. On the window pane.
Yeah.
On the window pane.
Standing here looking out my window. Lights are on, but my days are gone because I don't have you. Look how much
It's all because Raisin gave me COVID. It's all right though, man. We got through it, and you're closer to the end of the school year now.
I mean, sure. I felt like I let my team down.
I felt the same way.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I felt the same way, especially like when you still see like the text messages or whatever.
Oh
like
my God. I'm like, man,
days.
you guys don't even realize that like I haven't been here for 3 days. You still got me in here. Like,
right.
Has anybody seen this kid?
Right. Right. So it's just like it I can definitely attest to that. But I can say that my team held it down. I was really excited for them.
Yeah, I definitely gotta bring half a dozen in on Monday.
Yeah, definitely. I do something to celebrate them. And it's like those are good opportunities for leadership, you know, when somebody's not there, someone has to step up.
Don't do that.
That's
also a time for them to realize, like, oh, we don't really need this mug. Like, don't do that.
Hey, you know, I ain't gonna hate on nobody.
It's like, oh, no John Morant. Like, well, I wonder what we're gonna do here.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that because I text you and you just like, don't go too far. We'll get to that. All right. So you want to get right into it? All right, digging in the crates, no diggity, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll get this one out of the way first so we can get to what we really want to talk about.
Okay.
So, Young Thug, Gunna, and a bunch of other people have been brought into custody on a RICO case.
Yep, 28 others.
Yes, so for those who don't know what RICO cases are, this is top of the line investigation. So this is like racketeering, drugs, guns, suspicion of murder, like all these things fall into the RICO category. So the fact that these guys have been picked up on these charges is not a good thing. I did see a picture of like Young Thug. I guess he was like zooming into his court case rather than them bringing him in. And it looked eerie. It looked real eerie. It was.
He was complaining apparently about the conditions in there and stuff like that. That's like, yeah, well, you in jail, bro.
It's prison.
Yeah,
it's prison. I didn't know if you thought you was getting a Louis Vuitton pillow or they was gonna put you somewhere separate because they don't care about rappers. They don't care about rappers.
Just where the Gunna got denied bail and like I can't remember what else he requested. He requested a bunch of other stuff. They were like, yeah, no, we're not doing none of that.
Yeah, because they knew that money would have showed up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like whatever I got, bring it down here so I can get.
They're like, this money that we've already taken account for, like, don't worry about that.
Right. I mean, it should be some of it that's untouchable though, right? As far as like their music career. Like, I mean, I figure like they can't seize their music career money though.
Why can't they? So like when I went to school for business management.
Okay, talk about it.
There's like literally we spent 2 days like strictly discussing RICO.
Okay. And
like 2 of the reasons like why it's so important is 99% of all RICO cases, if you're brought in for a RICO case, 99% of the time you go to jail. There's only been like 2 people that have been able to get out of it.
And I think got tall money.
It was like a lot of stuff. And I think they got away off of technicality on like something like that's
somebody reason. Stole some money or was on some drugs or misfiled a report or something like that.
They do extensive investigations where it's like whatever it is, they have receipts, they have recordings, they have your voice, they have everything that they need because whatever comes to RICO, they do not
trying to prove anything anymore.
No, they're like, we know, and it's like we just need this. Apparently, they had been watching them for like 5 years, and they watched and listened to them drop over 30 bodies.
What?
30 bodies, 30 black bodies. They heard,
and you just not gonna stop them? Just like
they didn't stop them because it would stop the investigation. Like, yeah, we take down this one guy for this one crime, and the 27 other people get away. Or we keep this body on here, and then like eventually like it'll come back up. We find out everybody that was involved with it, and we find all the other stuff.
And you know they're gonna bring the music into there.
They've already did. They brought it into the court, and they played like some of the stuff that was saying on there and stuff like that.
that corroborate the story. Oh my.
Yeah, they are not playing when it comes to RICO, bro.
It's dark.
That's like I think that's one of the few things where like the FBI, the DEA, like everybody works together on a RICO case. Like everybody has a part to play.
That's crazy.
They got everything covered when it comes to that.
That is crazy.
So that I'm pretty sure Young Thug and Gunna are both looking at between 5 to 30 years. So, but there's like they already released like the names of the people and then the charges that are associated with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Young Thug and Gunna both have like 2 to 3 charges each. There's 2 people on there, and I was like, I don't know who these 2 people are. Mm-hmm. They have like 16 charges, bro. I was like, oh yeah, you're not seeing nothing. You weebay right now. You might as well just eat all these.
Take one for the team. Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Like these people are not seeing the light of day.
Like, bring me some more soda. I'm gonna tell you about some more bodies. Right. Like, yeah, weebay. Like, they don't build them like that no more though. They don't build them like that no more.
Because that's the thing is like when it comes down to these things, either you singing or you weebay and you eating them. Like which one's it gonna be?
Right. And in a situation like this, you're probably gonna have both in your crew.
Yeah.
Which is tough.
I know. Obviously, like. We're not huge into this, so we don't have like so many things to go into. But like, I mean, all we can really say is that it's crazy.
Yeah, this was new to me. I had just heard about it today because I seen the picture of Young Thug. I clicked on it and it was like I said, his YouTube. I mean, like his Zoom court case or something like that. And I was just like, what happened? And my son was like, oh, you ain't know they got brought in on RICO charges. I was like, what? And that's when I looked into it. I was just like, yeah, this is crazy. Like I don't get it. I don't get it.
There's been a lot of interviews, but one of the ones that I saw was Wallow from the Gilly the Kid podcast.
$1 million worth of game. Shout out to them. Great job.
Whatchamacallit. Like there was an interview he did with them like 2 years ago where like he spent like 2 minutes telling them, he's like, yo, I don't know what you guys are doing, but I hear the way you guys are moving. He's like, I'm telling you, you're not built for that. Whatever you thinking that you're doing, like you are above that now. You're rappers, like you have money that's up here. He's like, stop doing it because you're gonna wind up getting caught up. And it was just like,
because Wallow did like what, 20 years or something?
He did 25 years.
Sheesh.
And it was just like he's telling him, and it's like and you're watching it after the fact, and you're just like, oh, and like they're kind of looking at him and they're listening, but they're like, this dude's like that,
right.
And it's like, look at you. Look at you, now look at you. Right. Sometimes, man, like as annoying as you find these OGs, like sometimes you gotta like pick out certain things that people are telling you because like he knows this man knows what he's talking about. Been there, done that.
Sheesh. Well, I mean, I don't even know how to segue off of that. I just
talk about the Omega.
There you go. There you go. So Kendrick, Friday the 13th has happened.
It has.
And it was extraordinary.
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers?
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, yes. So you want to go first? You want me to go first? It's a lot. It's a lot here.
This is a hefty album. You can go first. I'm going to find out how many tracks are on the album and how long it is.
All right. So a lot of strategic things happen here with Kendrick. All right. So first, the May release.
I got it right. 18 songs, an hour and 13 minutes worth of music.
Yeah, sounds about right. He really addresses the mental health thing here.
Yes.
And with this being National Mental Health Month, I kind of feel like he did this May drop on purpose.
Okay.
But I see there's a lot of stuff like he's doing a whole lot of talking, like not just to himself but to other people. Like, listen, this is where y'all need to be, and like stop fronting, stop acting like this.
He's calling out a lot
when it's really this. Yes. He's addressing his past traumas, being real open, super vulnerable. It shows in the music at some, like, if you're not strategically getting through the music, it can feel like it's pulling you in several different directions, but there is a catalyst from where all that stuff is coming from. And hopefully people are seeing the big picture of Kendrick basically saying, like, I'm older now, I've had another child, I'm growing up, I'm trying to be healthy in all frames of mind and not just in my wallet. And the album blew me away. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I think that this album is
and I've been through it 3 times.
I went through it a bunch of times.
Yeah, I had to
the point where I was like, all right, I gotta stop listening to this.
Yeah, because for me, the first listen was kind of just like, oh, Kendrick.
It is. I'll say this: it is not what everybody thought it was gonna be.
No,
for sure.
No.
Kendrick was like, oh, you guys thought it was gonna be like something like I'm gonna keep doing the Baby Keem thing and like all this other, like it's gonna be big fun, like coming to tear the rap game up. And it was like
tonight.
This brother went real deep in his bag on this one. He dips in on homophobia, pedophilia.
Yep.
domestic disputes, disputes and violence.
Mm-hmm.
There's like I don't want to say like it's not an easy listen because that's not the case, but it's just like if you're not ready for it,
father issues.
That's
daddy
absentee
issues.
fathers,
Yep.
and stuff like that, like daddy issues. But it's like he's touching on like really, really like personal matters and like things that like we don't discuss enough.
Mm-hmm.
I think the best song on there, I'm not saying it's my favorite, but the best one is like the We Cry Together, which is the argument that he has with the girl, I believe it's Taylor Page is her name.
It is Taylor Page.
She's an actress. This is like her rap debut. I'm pretty sure Kendrick wrote it and she just kind of like went with it and stuff like that. But I was like, the song is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, it reminds me of Stan. I know it's not Stan.
Right.
This isn't the first ever two people on here arguing back and forth songs and stuff like that.
Right.
I'm not even sure it's the best one, but I was just like, oof. I was like, man, they body bagged this.
Mm-hmm.
And that matter of fact, like I know Kendrick really wrote it, but she outshined him. I felt like on it.
Yeah,
I thought she was amazing.
I thought it was pretty dope. I think for me, from what I gather from what I think Kendrick is trying to do is that we have to stop accepting these things and just saying it's for the culture or this is what comes with the culture. Like this doesn't have to be what the culture's life is. You know what I mean? So the more we start talking about stuff, the more we start having these conversations, the more easier it is for us to address past traumas and then not scar us for 10, 15, 20 years because everybody's not going to be blessed enough to make it through those traumatic situations to where they could say, okay, I've grown from my experience. People are losing their lives. People are ended up incarcerated. People are losing relationships or losing family members and not talking to people for years at a time when a simple conversation would be like, man, I never knew it was like that. Let's work on this. You know what I mean? So it looks like he's has had the tough conversations and he's encouraging other people to do more and not just say, oh, this is just how we are supposed to be. So let's just continue to be this way.
Yeah. And like, I think because of the tough subject matter, like it's kind of like a tough replay value type album. Like obviously like, albums like Good Kid, Mad City, like are like granted, like they have like a storytelling element to it, and it's like a bit of a dark story.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like for the most part, it's a fun journey, and it's like this journey is like it's a little bit tougher. So like, it's hard to say like this is a good album, but it's not your favorite album.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because it's like I feel like people be like, oh man, like so like you don't appreciate. And I think this album what really is it's art.
Yeah.
And it's like it's art, and it's like you. Like in its fullest form, because I think he does have like a lot of input on his beats and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a lot of these beats are really difficult. Like there was a couple of times where like I was just listening to the beat, and I was like, I don't understand like how he's rapping on this like at all, or like how he figures out how to navigate this song and stuff like that. Like
it's intricate.
It's extremely intricate, stuff like that. But it's like this album seemed very personal. It seemed very deliberate, and like that's the thing is like I was like, is this the best album of the year? And I was like, it probably is. I was like, it's just not my favorite album of the year. And it's like,
and he made it very clear. I could care less what y'all say.
Yeah, I think it reminds me a lot of To Pimp a Butterfly.
Okay.
I think To Pimp a Butterfly was a little bit more divisive. I think revisionist history now, people try to say that they like it, but like at the time, a lot of people did not like To Pimp a Butterfly.
Right.
And then they kind of gravitated back towards it when Kendrick started to speak a little bit more about it and stuff like that. And I do think the shock value of this kind of like, I can see it turning a bunch of people off. I will say it didn't turn me off. I did still really enjoy this album.
Definitely.
And stuff like that. But I was just like, yo, like I can see people being like, yo, what the hell is this?
And that's only because you come in with the expectation of what you wanted to have and not what somebody was ready to present to you. Like if I invite you over for dinner, don't come over thinking that I'm cooking one thing, and when I do cook you something, you're like, oh, this is not what I wanted. But what I cooked is still banging. So it's just like, you're not enjoying this because you was looking for something else. You should have just said that.
Or you made a super banging lasagna, and they're like, oh, I'm vegetarian. I'm like, well, that's on you, nigga. Like, yeah, you should have asked me what I was making, or made some sort of thing with it. Or you could have just not came over.
Right.
It's like, you're not going to come over here and complain.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be album of the year up for right now.
There's no I don't know how to put it, where it's like they call certain movies like Oscar bait. Like this is Grammy bait. Like whatever. I don't know what else can come out where the Grammys could literally like look at it and be like, this is not the hip hop album of the year.
Yeah.
I think that the Baby Keem has had a very big influence though on his rapping style and his beat decisions.
There's a lot of Kodak Black on here too,
which has been pretty divisive.
Yeah.
Because
let's talk about it.
I'm just saying, like on Twitter. Like, because that's where I be at is like, people are just like, yeah, like a lot of people are really turned off by the fact that Kodak Black is on here. because like Kodak Black had came out and pled not guilty. I think it was to sleeping with a underage girl like against her will, and like I think he was a big Trump supporter, a lot of other stuff. So it's like it was a very interesting person for him to choose to be the narrator of this album.
Right.
It was really weird. And then, like the thing is, like I don't not like Kodak, so like, but I was just like, as I was listening, I was just like I feel like Kendrick did this on purpose, and I don't know why he did this on purpose.
Edgy, very edgy. I didn't know where it came from either. That's why I wanted to wait to talk to you about it. He was like, wait for the pod. I was like, wait for the pod. But it's just like I noticed. I was like, man. I was like, okay, Kodak, and there goes Kodak again. Oh, Kodak again. I was like, okay, all right. But yeah, so I'm like I said, I don't think Kendrick does anything by accident. I'm pretty sure down the line they'll figure something out, or something will come together where people could say what I didn't respect, I now respect. But it could have been something as simple as I wanted to have Kodak around because I see how he's moving. Like I remember J. Cole had brought up Kodak at one point. Like, I wish he had more leadership. You know what I mean? Kendrick had a bar where he was like, I was confused because Drake and Kanye doing music together now. I was like, I don't know how to feel about it, So everybody has their own confusion about situations. It's not for us all to be in the same understanding point, but if we can be peaceful about it, then like I said, we can still have conversations about it.
I just know Kendrick stans are just not going to shut the F up about this album forever.
Oh, no.
Like, this is why he's the greatest. That's what I'm doing. It's like, all right, dudes, like, relax.
Them versus the haters is going to be great conversation. I'm just going to, grab some popcorn and watch. Because I can care less what either side says.
It seems like he's ducking J. Cole or something. No, I'm sorry. I'm playing. I'm not doing that.
Wow.
Wake me up inside.
Yeah.
Wake me up inside.
Save him.
Save me from the nothingness inside.
Boy, tripping out here. All right. So I snuck one in here.
Uh-huh.
I feel like we came to the end of some stuff.
A lot of stuff.
I
was struggling during COVID trying to figure out what to watch.
Yes. So we start with Ozark. Let's start with Ozark. Did you finish?
I finished Ozark. I finally did.
Tell me what you think.
I did not. I think the second part of Ozark, I thoroughly enjoyed it, except for the last 5 minutes of the
lazy
finale.
writing.
I don't know if it's lazy writing or if like if they were trying to just make it very muted, where it's just like not everybody gets an extravagant ending or like whatever type of deal.
I know exactly that's what.
And it's like if that's what you're trying to say, like fine, but it's like that doesn't make it satisfying though.
No,
and it's like
do better with it.
Did you watch the little featurette they did after where it was like the goodbye to Ozark and like all that stuff?
No.
I watched like the trailer for it. I was like, there's no way in hell I'm watching this, especially after they just pissed me off in this last 5 minutes.
Wouldn't do it.
I don't know how you want to go about this. Like, do you want to go like character by character? Do you want to talk about the season in general? Like, but
let's just talk about the back half of the finale.
Okay, the back half of the finale. Like,
I mean, not like the last show,
the actual spoiler ending of it.
Yeah, the last pocket.
Okay.
All right, because I don't want to go character by character. I will. I mean, no, let's not do it. This is the key points for me.
Okay.
I don't like the way they did Roof.
Nobody like that's got. First of all, that's number one. I can't believe that you said that first. Like that's the big kahuna.
Right. So the only reason I say that is because, like, I know you can say like everybody doesn't get a happy ending, but I feel like if anybody deserved one, it was Roof more than freaking Marty Bird and his family.
Even if she's not going to get a happy ending, that's not how Roof goes out.
Roof goes out. That's not how.
That's Cleo from Set It Off.
Right. I feel like she should have had a shotgun strapped to her pants under her dress. Like, I knew you were gonna do this. Bam!
I was waiting the whole time. I thought, what's her name? Rachel Shorty was gonna be on the roof again with the little rifle to take her out.
Nah, I thought
three.
I thought her other cousin was.
I mean, three. I thought somebody's gonna be there.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna get a body, but like, I just don't like the way the whole group. Only because, like, not only has she been super impactful on the show, but like.
She is the star of the show.
She made the first few episodes of this finale pocket. Like,
I think she makes the show in general. I think if Roof is not on the show, it's not that entertaining.
Like, you can't give her the epic Killer Mike episode and then it leads up to this. Like it just didn't make sense.
Like she's like the Jon Snow.
Like, right. It's like you didn't have to do this. Like I understand why you did it for the whole breaking of the heart of the fans to make it more like Ozark was so dope, but you could not have done this and still got the same reaction.
What I'm saying is like no monologue,
right.
No speech,
right?
No going out in the blaze of glory,
right.
Like no poetic ending, like nothing like that. Nothing. And it's like it was just a real just like
Right.
And then it's like on to the Bird family and stuff like that. And it's like it felt very Sopranos finale.
Yeah. Ooh.
So like that's what it felt like to me, because like that's the second part of it where I was like, really, this is how we're ending this,
right?
And like I was really like on the edge of my seat like for this whole thing too. Like as soon as like they're on the boat and like the shorty, what you call it, caves, and it says it was Ruth Langmore, I was like, okay, like we're in the. It was almost like the Doctor Strange, like we're in the end game now.
And you literally did not have to say anything.
Yeah, you didn't have to say nothing.
You didn't have to say nothing. You didn't have to say nothing, you coward. You should have got bodied.
Ain't no such things as halfway crooks.
Right. I am all the way through with the birds. Like I'm all set with the birds. The mom, Marty being a sucker. The son, all of a sudden, is a G now.
Marty's a sucker?
Yes. Yes.
Marty's a sucker. Of all the people in the Bird family.
Yes.
Marty's the most thorough one.
No, I get it. But I feel like there's a lot of decisions that he could have made, but he was kind of like, now I get it. He's pulled a lot of different ways. Yeah. He's trying to make sure like his wife understands what's going on. He's trying to maintain Ruth. Like he's really genuinely caring about everybody. But in that caring, he's not really doing much. He's just kind of saying, oh, we shouldn't do this or we shouldn't do that or let's be good about this. But like Marty, like you're the one who got this ball rolling. Like if anybody can bring all this stuff together so things don't go crazy, it should probably be you. Like I feel like he spent the last few episodes running around trying to clean up his wife's mess for other reactive decisions that she was making. And it's like, bro, this is happening because you're not making the decisions. So just make the decisions so she can't. But you're letting her make all these frustrated, reactive decisions. She's clearly not in her right mind. And now you got to keep cleaning up all these messes. There's only so many times you can grab the mop before you look and say, dang, there's a mess that I missed. And that mess that he missed was Ruth because he wasn't locked in. That's why I'm mad at Marty.
I understand that. And I get you. But like what I'm saying is like, you know how he is. And it's like how they paint him on the show is like he's not the alpha male type. Like he's not going to do like all this other type of stuff. And it's like he created two monsters, like in Ruth and his wife. And so that like he allowed them, he gave them the space to become the things that they became. And like those became his downfall towards the end, if you even want to call it a downfall. And stuff like that. And it's like, I get it. But it's like, I like you can tell like when, you know, the grandfather comes and he's like, I'm going to take the kids. Like mom is talking to the kids are completely bypassing her. They're like, dad. Right. And it's like, cause they know like that's the one and stuff like that. Right. And it's just like, he has to sit there and like, like, I don't know what he has. Like they never really talk about it, but he has like some sort of like Asperger's or something where it's like, that's why he has like such a lack of emotion or whatever. And it's like, oh, Marty. Yeah. And I meant to bring this up. Like, has this always been a Marty thing? Because I feel like in season 1, like he wasn't like this, right? Like this is like, I
don't think he was like that.
So like he developed like some sort of PTSD or something that like
he was making decisions before.
And he was like, I feel like he was a lot more like I said, like emotional is probably the best word because he's very emotionless now. Yeah. And it's like I think that's kind of what it is. And then like he winds up, you know, creating the Camilla situation and stuff like that. It's, you know,
and he didn't really create this situation. His wife created that situation as well.
But he created his wife, so it's like it's technically a situation. It's like you know, Frankenstein's monster.
Mind you, even his kids was like, "Bro, mom's wilding," so we get it.
Yeah, like
we get it. If you
they're asking him, they're like, "Yo, we don't want to go with Grandpa, but we will go with you if you need Bob." Like, what's going on?
Right, like she's tripping, fam. But I don't know. They didn't get no punishment, and that's what kills me. It's just like in the end, and I'm not saying they should have been punished. I know that sounds crazy, but it's just like
they didn't get their comeuppance.
Yeah, right. It was like it went full circle for a lot of people except for the birds. It was just like there was no blowback at all. After the brother, it was basically nothing. Like they're just out here wilding, wifey's wilding.
I forgot how much I missed the brother character until they had that episode where he came back out. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
Yeah. Right. I didn't hate the son situation at the end.
I absolutely hated it. Abomination, I thought. I was like, ugh. Like, I literally looked at the screen and was like, you got to be shitting. I was like, this is how we're ending this. I was like, ugh. I was like, yo, like, whoever. I was like, yo, throw. Like, I did like this, like, like throw it away. Look at
So I didn't hate that it happened. What killed it for me was the smile. Almost like, I've been this type of dude. Like you have not.
He closed his eyes.
Ever been. No, he smiled.
No, he had like this, and he literally did like this and closed his eyes.
I got to rewatch it then. Yeah. So maybe I was already mad at the situation then because what I seen, I saw a smirk and he closed one eye and then shot. So I don't know. I'll watch it again.
But that's like what the second or third person he bodied. He's put a couple people in the dirt.
Yeah, but it was almost like some reactive, super accidental type stuff. When he was holding the shotgun this time, he was just like, "Yeah, this is where I'm at with it." Like, bro, this is not who you are. Like, cut it out. And then the parents look at him like,
"Yeah,
we're good." Like, come on, y'all. Now y'all about to burn his body up, put it in with the brother or something like that. Got the goat sitting on your counter. Like,
I was like, why did he come back?
Because he's dumb.
I was like, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. And that's what
to live. You got paid, you got your job back.
That's what it was. It was like, I don't want to say it's bad writing, but it was dumb writing. Like, why are characters doing things that they would not do?
Right.
That's what it always comes down to. That was the Game of Thrones thing. Why are people doing things that they would not do now?
And that's where I said the lazy writing happened, because it's like, all right, after you kill Ruth, you could literally end the show like that, have some overlapping narrating or something, but you got to get back to the birds. And I don't feel like they had no real clear reasons. It was like, let's bring the cop back so we can have a conversation and close the show out like that. Because like you said, there's no reason for him to be back there. You got money, you got your record expunged, you got to be a cop again, and you're gonna come back here and be like, oh, I couldn't let go of this last case. Well, you about to come in that.
You know what it made? You know what I know made more sense? If it wasn't the guy, if it wasn't him there, and it was the black detective, if it was her that did that, that makes way more sense.
Or if it was the dad.
Yes, that makes more sense too.
Yes.
But it's like
dad could have showed up drunk, acting all weird, threatening to go to the police and all that extra stuff. That would have been a way better thing than the cop.
And then Jonah has to shoot his grandfather.
Ooh.
That's what
you could have just called us. You could have just
hit the comment section. We would have told you. Yeah, you could like, subscribe, and comment. Like, let's go. We'll give you whatever you need to know. Like,
that was a quick turnaround.
Almost like our boy G Head over at IG and Etsy. You know, you could type in custom merch over there. Use that promo code Heavyweight Bros, spelled HW, the number 8BROS, to save you 10% off your order, because the more you spend,
the more you save. All right. So, do you have anything else with Ozark?
No.
All right.
But like overall, Ozark was a really good show.
Yes.
Like obviously the ending pissed me off. The ending pissed me off and stuff like that. But it was like it's one of the best 10 shows.
It's kept me locked in. So I wasn't like, oh, Ozark is out, I'll watch it. No, it was just like, Ozark is coming out, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Like you could be on a date and somewhere just randomly chilling with some people and no talking time, like, anybody watch Ozark? Whoa! It's like conversation started. Here we go. Nice.
You have any idea in the past 2 weeks how much I've done that Ruth impression? I'm not gonna do it now, but I'm just saying how many times
I just knew it was coming.
I'm just saying how many times I did. I'm not going to do it, but I'm just saying.
Listen, I still remember the little kids I was running around looking like Ruth. I was just like, listen,
that was pretty crazy.
That was pretty crazy. All right, so we had another finale.
A couple finales.
Yes. Winning time.
Still think it was the best show on TV. Even though Ozark was out, Winning Time is still the best show.
For me, it's dope because of all the people that are playing people and doing a really good job.
Yeah.
And they are not fumbling the bag.
I told you what I had a rough time with was the guy playing Dr. J on the basketball court.
Yeah.
He looked at I was a little rough, bro. He was like, I was like, hey,
but I'm really shocked by old boy that's playing Jerry Buss. Mm-hmm. He's really showing his range. Like, I'm not.
He's been this guy.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. It's like I just feel like he has the opportunity to bring all aspects of his acting career together. Like, he has the serious moments, the emotional moments. He still gets to have that comedy in there. That's the thing. I think he got pigeonholed after Talladega Nights and Step Brothers, Walk Hard, all that type of stuff. Right, he's a comedy guy, but he started off as a serious actor, and then yeah. So,
and he killed it.
Yeah, he's definitely killing it. I like the Kareem episode of him watching the game from the crib. It was. Did
your heart break for him a little bit when he found out he wasn't getting MVP?
Yes. I know that Magic got that MVP, but I'm watching the show maybe he's gonna be maybe I was too young to realize that he shouted out Kareem this really belongs to our captain. He's just I love winning. I was like, come on.
It broke my heart as I watched it. I was like, damn.
Oh my goodness.
I was after he just accepted you and embraced you.
Right. And you knew it was supposed to go to him because you was just where Kareem at? Get him on the phone. Yeah. Come on, Magic.
Kareem.
Maybe this episode will have Magic visiting Kareem here, man. I'm sorry.
Ain't no way I'm not watching season 2. I'll tell you that right now. With the day one, I'm in there.
I'm watching it until the finale of the
series. I'm in.
Like
whatever the hook is,
you
like,
can't go wrong because the script is already written in real life.
First of all, they can do this show all the way up till today, and it's like I'm watching. I'm like, who's playing Giannis this year?
It's still gonna work. It's still gonna work.
Yeah,
right. You mess around and be like,
I can't wait.
Season 7, the Shaq and Kobe years. Like, well, I'm still here.
I can't wait until we do
here.
Detroit Pistons Dallas at the Palace.
I don't know who's gonna play Kobe. I don't know who's gonna play Shaq, but that would be hilarious to find out how they cast it. But it's like you can't go wrong. You don't have to get lazy with the writing. Like, you don't have to worry about what happens next because it's already all written. You're literally just depicting real life on this show, and it's literally laid out for you.
Yeah, and that's the thing about sports in general. It's like it's the greatest reality TV show because it's like it's real people doing real things in real time, and like we get to all watch it like as it happens. That's what's the most exciting part about it. Great to like the 80s. Like, because that means they did skip over the whole Coke era for the most part. They do have Spencer Haywood doing crack.
They did.
But it's like, they kind of skip over that. So, but it's like, what else do we got? We got who's playing Allen Iverson when his time comes? Like, what I mean? That's going to be a great one.
Ooh. Yeah, that's going to be dope.
I don't know how far that they plan on going. I don't know if they're just doing the Lakers dynasty. Because I was like, now we got to do the Bird versus Magic finals.
There's endless possibilities. Like,
who's playing Michael? They got Michael B. Jordan to play Michael Jordan?
No.
Yo, if they get my man's Candyman to play Michael Jordan, you watch it?
No. Wait. Oh, you talking about the new Candyman?
Yeah. Why would it be the old one?
Bro? I don't know. I'm tripping. I'm so traumatized.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna let you listen to Kendrick.
But I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was compelling. Like the whole time through, like even though I know that the Lakers win, I'm still like,
right.
Like, stuff like that. Because then it's like when Pat Riley leans in and he's like 69-3, and he's like, what? Like 69-3. That was the votes. He was like,
and that's really the real reason why I watch the show, because you know what happens.
Yeah.
But all the stuff in between that led to this is what makes it interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for the youngins who may be watching the show, it's just like they get to get all of it. You know what I mean? So
and then now we get to see how Jerry West becomes Jerry West because he's now about to be finally a general manager.
Right. So it's dope, man. It's dope. All right. What else do we have season finale?
I don't know. You're looking at a lot of stuff. I think that's the only 2 season finales, right?
Yeah.
Ozark still go, or what you call it? Atlanta's still going.
Yep. So what I'll do is
you did finish.
I'll rip through these next 3,
so
we don't spend too much time on. So I finished Dave.
Okay.
The finale was dope.
Okay.
The last episode
was. Did you cry?
I didn't cry.
I did,
but I did feel happy for
man
Gator.
He's the star of the show, man.
Yeah. I did feel happy for Gator. I was like, all right, Lil Diggy finally got it right. He finally got it right. Stop acting like a sucker.
What'd you think about that weird episode where he's with Rick Rubin and he sees like Bald Dave and stuff like that?
Yeah, that episode was crazy. That episode was crazy.
Did you end up enjoying the show? It's like my real question. Like you called it the Your Honor. Like, and it's like that's a tough title to give things these days.
Yes. So like I said, the back end of season 2 was entertaining.
Okay.
And I will give the next season a shot on the first episode to see where it goes. And if it fails, it fails. If it doesn't, then it doesn't.
He dies.
Yeah, straight like that.
Yeah.
BMF season 2 is getting ready to launch.
Okay.
And they have a new addition to the show.
Okay.
Monique.
I heard about that.
Will be on BMF. Yeah. I don't know how intricate the part's going to be or how much airtime she's going to get, but the fact that somebody finally said, I'm going to get Monique back on TV, and that was 50 because he don't care what nobody say about nothing. He's finally getting Monique back on TV, which is great.
I can almost guarantee it won't be on Netflix now.
Ooh. So it won't be on Stars. It won't be on Netflix. Where does it go?
I'm telling you, it's made for HBO Max, but I think Amazon Prime. Like this is the thing.
And I feel like 50 doesn't make that move without
already knowing that the bag is secured.
Right. Because if you do that, the whole 50 verse is gone.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure he has something lined up. And like I said, it's good for him. It's good for Monique. I'm excited to see the second season of BMF because, again, this is something that you can't go wrong with. You know what I mean? The writing doesn't have to be like super elaborate because it's already an interesting real life story.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Moving on.
You got Better Call Saul up there.
I got back into Better Call Saul.
Bro, I'm like, I'm on like season 4, and like I'm always like I gotta get back into it, and I just don't.
Yes.
And I know the new season just came out.
I had missed season 5, and like everything was coming to an end, so I was just like, man, there's really nothing on tonight. So I was like, let me see what's going on Netflix, and season 5 is on Netflix. So I was just like, all right, let me just watch an episode here and there. And I started seeing old characters and like Mike and Pollo Imanos.
And then Gus Fring?
Yeah, man. And then you see Saul, and it's like you start seeing how things intricately move together from like Breaking Bad. And it's just like, yep. So I ended up getting through it really quickly, and I also caught up on season 6.
I was like, you know that speaking of that, they make an appearance.
Who?
Jesse and Walter.
No, don't say that.
I mean, for real, it was like a big deal. Like they announced it and all that stuff.
In season 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet, but I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I'm waiting. That's gonna be dope.
They're gonna be there.
That's gonna be dope. But it's just like there's some major stuff happening in season 6 too, and it's just like it's so exciting.
So it's 100% worth getting back into.
Yes.
I knew, and the thing is, I already knew that. Yes. I don't know why I'm pussyfooting around.
Yes. And then you see like you see people on the show that you know are dead from Breaking Bad, but you see them on this show, and you're just like. And then you see like these situations that are getting, and it's like, well, I know they're not gonna die because it's not Breaking Bad yet, but like how close is like it's
that's
getting,
a problem with prequels.
It's getting really close to where like Breaking Bad is, and you can see it like growing to that. Like I can see like them still having a whole nother season or 2 for this.
I think this is the final season though.
It is the final season. I'm just saying they could do a whole nother season or 2, and it's just like. I really hope they don't try to speed through these last few episodes because it's already on like episode 4 or 5. So you probably got like 5 episodes left for stuff to really start turning up. But it has gotten pretty crazy. Damn. Yep. I thought I dropped that nugget on you.
There's so many things on my docket. So, but you did what you call it? You got to Barry now.
I did get to Barry. I watched the first 3 episodes.
Okay.
I'm struggling.
Okay. All right. I'm
struggling.
All right.
But I know like. I have to give it like maybe 4 or 5 episodes to really get rolling. I do see things coming together, but it hasn't really like.
I told you like season 2 is the real banger, like when it really pops off.
You didn't tell me that, so I was just like, I'm gonna give Joel this season, see what
happens. Because I
think
it was the same for me too, because it was like I know Barry gets good, but I was watching, I was like, man, I feel like I remember it being better than this, and then it was like as it started going, I was like, nah, this is it.
Yeah.
And season 3 has not disappointed in the slightest already. So
right. So yeah, I'll get to it. I'll stay on top.
Are you ready for the big Kahuna, man? Are we gonna talk about Atlanta or what?
Yeah, that's why I saved it for last. Let's get to Atlanta, man. So this new episode was, and I'm really hoping it doesn't end on 10 episodes.
I hope so too,
because that would mean it's only 1 episode left. So I'm hoping this doesn't stop at 10.
I really don't know, does it?
But especially when you're like splitting the season in half, it's like 2 seasons. You got to give us more episodes. I know you brought that up last time, so we have to do it. But this one was called Rich Wigger
Poe Wigger.
Where we have the iconic appearance of none other than Kevin Samuels.
Is it iconic, or is it literally just because he just passed?
That's what makes it iconic.
Yeah, iconic's a strong word. It's a coincidental. Ironic?
I guess you can go with that.
Yeah.
I just thought it was pretty dope.
It was like,
Listen, when I saw him walking on the stage, I was like, oh man, this is like, it's almost like for the person who like did the last album, last song with Nipsey, or like if you like the last person to hang out with Big. I was like, not saying Kevin Samuels is where those guys are, but it's just for somebody to be like that influential for a certain amount of time and then they'd be gone and you were the last person to have some type of like artistic connection with that person. It was just like, it was crazy. And then the people that they paired him with on the episode were just like, oh, these are more like pivotal people like in the culture. And it's just like,
let's get into the episode.
Yeah, let's get into it. So the episode is about a white kid.
Yep.
Whose dad is black.
It's biracial.
He's biracial. And I've struggled with this.
Okay.
I'll segue for just a second. Give me just a second.
Go ahead.
Where I've asked people this question. I don't really know what the answer is supposed to be. I allow everybody to do their thing. But like, I was talking to a kid who actually raps. And like, he is mixed, but he's brown skinned. I was like, do you use the word nigga when you rap? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay. Why is it okay? He said, what you mean I'm black? I was like, are you black for rap? Or are you black because you consider yourself black? He was just like, nah, I consider myself black. I was like, all right, so what about like Logic? It was like, dad is black. And he like grew up with his dad, but he looks white, but cannot do that. He's like, oh, I never thought about that. I was like, but what about Drake, who grew up with his mom, who is white, but identifies as black, and he drops nigga bombs all the time. Like, I was like, you don't feel conflicted about that? He was like, where you getting with this? I was like, absolutely nowhere. I just want to get some insight from it. I know how I feel, but I don't want it to in person. Like,
I mean, the question is, are you judging people off the content of the character or the color of their skin?
Right.
I mean, that's what it really comes down to.
And that's what it really comes down to. And I like to see where people's headspace are when that's happening. And this episode was like really all about that. Yeah. So I'll get back to it. So the kid is white.
He's biracial.
He's biracial. He lives with his dad, who is black. His dad jokes with him like, you can act white around your friends if you want to. I know where you got that nose from. You know, so he identifies as white. He hangs around a group of white kids. Like, he wants to go to the same college as his white friends, but financially he cannot fund the bill because of his financial instability, right? Mm-hmm. So Kevin Samuels comes in and he's like, hey, he's like this super rich guy on the show. And he goes, I'm going to pay the tuition for everybody here. And everybody starts jumping up. He's like, all the black students. And they were like, hey. So now he's thinking, I got accepted to this college where my white girlfriend's going and all my friends are going and I want to go. Do I go and get this black funded money when I identify as a white male? So he has to kind of like do the same shucking and jiving that you would to have to get some money that they make black people do to try to get a mortgage or a good job or a spot on television or in their music or whatever it is. You had to come and do the song and dance to try to get this money, and you still got rejected. And then the whole episode goes on from there. Did I do good with that?
Yeah.
I thought it was not only hilarious, I thought it proved a whole lot of points. And you know me, I wasn't really big on like the sidebar episodes, but I think this was the best one of the sidebar episodes.
Better than the adopted kid in the first episode?
You're right. That was.
I was like, you out of
I forgot about that one. That was I forgot.
Apparently, this episode's been super divisive. Like, people are like, either they really like it or they really don't like it.
I enjoyed it. I'm
starting to wonder what some of these people that look like that don't like it versus the people that do like it. You know what I mean?
Of course. I went to see Black Panther. I see people walk out that were Marvel fans, but not Black Panther fans. Like, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing with Marvel.
I saw that.
This was a comic book before it was a movie, in case you didn't know. So you was already a fan before you knew it. So stop fronting. But yeah, did you have anything you wanted to add? I'm sorry. I know I went off. Like, I took a lot of that.
I mean, we didn't really go in depth of like what happens like in the episode of the most part and stuff like that. Like, you did like a good synopsis of like up to a point.
Yes.
But it's just like
I just didn't want to kill it in case nobody spoil it. There you
go. But it's just like, you know, I mean, the overall theme of it is like using blackness or black culture like when it's convenient for you.
Boom.
Because like that's the thing is like I think my personal favorite part is when, like, as soon as it happens and they go outside and his friends are like never paid attention to the black kids, never had anything to say about these black kids. Mm-hmm. The second that they feel slighted in the slightest bit, mm-hmm. the first thing that they do is start being like, I don't understand like people why they're like that, and they start attacking them mm-hmm. and stuff like that, and they start looking down on them, and then they're just like, you know, because that's what happens is like mm-hmm. they're allies and they support right up until the point in time where like something gets pulled from them and they don't like it the way that happens. And right. They're just like, oh, like I'm going to call this person and I'm going to do this because it's like all they're doing is the same thing. It's reverse racism, bro. It's right. Like, that stuff doesn't exist. Right. It's not real. You're just making stuff up.
Don't throw the higher learning bars out of
there. You know what I mean? So, and then like granted, like some of the, like during the interrogation scene of it, like the audition, I guess is the best way of it. Like we didn't get to see like a lot of the answers. Like they kind of played it for laughs and stuff like that.
Right.
But it's like, yeah, like you are not of the culture, bro. And like we can see that just by looking at you. And it's like, don't try to feed off the culture when you're not of the culture.
So some of the questions that were hilarious, not to say, but it was like Bobby and Whitney or Will Smith and Jada.
He was like, Bobby Whitney. No, Will Smith and Jada.
That man was like, did you hear about what happened to the young black male who got shot by the cops? He was like, yeah. He was like, you was only supposed to say, It's like, name 8 things that mix with Hennessy.
He said wrong. He's like, oh, yeah, right.
He was like, that's my word. That's my word. I was like, yeah, it was.
I was like, he's a high school student.
Right. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I thought it was also very interesting when the other African student shows up. And it's like he did not make it either, like because he doesn't technically qualify into like what they consider blackness. But it's like, man, it's literally from Kenya. Like, what do you tell? Like, how do you want to tell me what's black? What it's like.
But the way he broke it down to him was kind of like,
But he broke it down to him like that, and then like he broke it down to him right back. He's like, "What are you talking about?"
Right.
And then they both were just like,
they're both testing each other's blackness. Like, man, this is what we're doing. We're letting someone else get us to the point to where we are questioning our blackness and how black we are to each other. Like, this is what we call the culture. Like, it was.
But this is also what the society does to these kids. And it makes them do that and G-check their much about.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
Which is a big part of the whole cancel culture situation.
And then what happens at the end of the episode?
Man, end of the episode comes, and old boy that's been acting white the whole time ends up catching the case because you could watch the episode. They like at the school wilding him and the other Nigerian kid, and this man is like full on embracing his black side now. Like, this man's Is
he embracing his black side, or is he embracing all the black stereotypes?
He's embracing all the black stereotypes. There you go. He is appropriating a culture that he was already a part of and denied, and now
he's appropriating his own culture.
Yes,
and it's disgusting.
And it's disgusting.
It is
disgusting. Like, this man's got the wave brush, and he doesn't have one wave in his head. He has like the little fro cut with the part, and it's like he's
literally. I watched it 3 times with 3 different people, and every single person when they saw him went. And I was like, yes.
As soon as you see him, you're like, come on.
You were like, I was like,
come on. Like
changed his accent up. Like,
right.
Got a little deeper with it.
Right.
That's a little chain over the polo.
Right.
Say like I was like,
right. Yeah, it was terrible. And it's what you see every single day.
But I loved it, watching it.
Yes, because it needs to get out there. Because these, like I said, you know me, I'm a conversation person. So it's like, these are the conversations people don't want to have and they don't want to be real about. But then when you see it, you're like, oh, that's what you meant. Yes, that's exactly what we meant.
We've been telling you it was a thing.
Like, cut it out, Justin Timberlake.
Why is it always got to come back to JT?
I just want to see your reaction.
I
know you love JT.
I
was just messing with you, man.
Leave the boy alone, man. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. See, the thing is, you don't understand the 2020 experience. Once you figure that out.
Okay.
Don't stop. Pot that.
I like that transition. Look at that.
Move on. Like I said, I already knew before this episode started that it was going to run pretty long. Mm-hmm. So like I'm trying to breeze by things as much as possible. I know, like, especially with the TV stuff, like a lot of it was pretty heavy. And it was a lot of finales and stuff like that. I did see 2 movies.
Okay.
I know one of them we're gonna go really in depth with. So like I'm just gonna go very briefly on the second one. It was a kids movie. It was The Bad Guys.
I'm gonna watch it with Nice tomorrow.
I actually really enjoyed this movie. I didn't have much expectations for it. It's pretty much about a group of 5 animals. They're like, it's almost like a Zootopia where like the animals run around. There's also people there, so it's it's really weird. But it's kind of drawn in the same animation as the new Disney movie Turning Red.
Okay.
So like that's what the people look like and stuff like that. But it follows the big bad wolf, a snake, a tarantula, a shark, and a piranha. So like normal bad guy animals and stuff like that. And they're they're called the bad guys, and they are like the Ocean's 11 of like they pull heists and stuff like that. So it's just like this new governor comes in that just got elected, who's a fox, who I feel like I need to say it, who like for the whole movie I'm like, why am I attracted to this fox so crazy? Like I'm like, what is going on? And then I Google, I'm like, who plays this fox? It's Zazie Beetz, the girl who plays Van on Atlanta. And I was like, okay. I was like, this makes way more sense of why I'm attracted to this fox so much, because she's just like laying it on. And I'm like, yo, what are those movies? But whatever. But they do a heist and they wind up getting caught. and the big bad wolf, like in an attempt to avoid jail time, tells tricks, like almost like the good Samaritan, because like they try to rob like a Good Samaritan award, and it's like this number one Good Samaritan. They kind of trick him into being like, well, if you're such a good Samaritan, you should be able to turn us into good guys, type of deal. And it's just like him trying to turn them into good guys. They're kind of liking being good guys, but then at the same time, like, are they deep down bad guys? Were they always like, are they really bad guys because they're sharks, piranhas, big bad wolves, or like, were they just never really given a chance to be good guys and stuff like that?
Okay.
I thought it was really, really solid. I mean, it's hard to do animated movies because like I feel like Pixar movies are just so amazing that it's like I don't think it's as good as like a Pixar movie, but like I do think that this is a movie that people should see. And it's like if you have kids, like I think it's on the level of like Sing and stuff like that. Like Sing movies are like they're pretty good.
How I feel about Sing.
I think they're pretty good, but they're not the greatest movies, but like they're pretty good.
You know how I feel about Sing.
On the nasty scale, which is full price matinee, $5 Tuesday, Redbox, stream it, skip it. I think it's between a full price and a matinee, and I went with full matinee. I think it's a matinee. I think it's matinee worthy. I think it's worth your money, but like
we watching it at the crib.
I'm like, is it worth $14? I don't think so.
We watching it at the crib.
All right. I think that's a solid option.
Okay.
So that's the Bad Guys. Second movie that we saw, which we should have saw the first time. We should have done a podcast right after. But what we did do the podcast right after was Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Now I know I gave my quick take on it in the last episode. So we're gonna get a bit spoilery now because now you finally saw it. You saw it that night.
Yes.
The next day you saw it.
Whatever day Mother's Day was, we went Mother's Day.
All right. It was the next day, the Sunday.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you want me to give a quick recap of the movie again, or like, do you just want to go and give the?
No, we can go into it. My gun is locked and loaded.
All right, go ahead. Speak on it.
There's only one in here. Bang! Trash.
We go full trash.
Yeah, I'm all set with this movie. I am so all set for several different reasons. Like it was. I don't know, man. So I feel like you have a certain expectation when you go to see Marvel movies, and I just feel like this one did not fit the bill. I knew the movie from the gate was going to be all over the place, but they never really like brought the rein in. So it was just like, we're going to continue to just be all over the place. And then in the end, you're going to realize that all of this was for nothing. Just like, it just made it for me, it made the movie really whack. Like, even like the girl, like not being able to like fully hone into her powers. And when she did, it wasn't even really anything super dope that she did do with the powers.
She could travel through the multiverse, bro. That's pretty dope.
No, the powers are dope. What I'm saying is she never did anything super fantastic with the powers. It was just like these random punches, boom, like, all right. And then like, I finally learned how to use it, and I'm going to show you your mirror of a life. And then I'm going to keep it moving. And now I'm trying to learn how to spin certain, like, come on. Wong didn't get enough action. Like,
but when he was in there, man, my man Wong, he shows up, bro.
I know. Even more reason to give him more screen time. I'm so over Wanda. I'm so over.
I thought she was like the best part of this movie.
She was the best and the worst. Like you're literally terrible. All these people are dying and losing their lives, and you're tearing up all this stuff just for you to finally be like, you know what? I was tripping. Like, what? Like at this point, you need to go through with this. At this point, you need to tear up one of these universes. Like, give me a reason. Like when Thanos came and he was tearing stuff up, like we lost Spider-Man for a moment. We lost half of the citizens. Like, and then we lost Tony Stark. Like, and then we lost Thanos. He made it worth it. He made it worth it. You know what I mean? Wanda was like, this was just like I had a really big argument with my girl just for you to say I was right. Like, come on, man. Like that joint was
What
terrible.
about all the sorcerers that got bodied?
Terrible. They died for nothing. They died, at least the people who died for Thanos, like all of that was for reason. Even in the bad side, because remember I told you, I thought Thanos ended up being a good guy in the end of all of this. Like his plan actually made sense when you consider the Eternals. Right, I won't go into it, but like this, there was literally no reason to this movie. And Doctor Strange, you are a sucker. in every universe you are a sucker, and you continue to say, I'm not the sucker. Let me be a sucker right quick. Like, come on, man. And then I was waiting the whole time for my homie to get his rocks off, and he had all of a few minutes.
Who's your homie?
The black dude with the dreads.
Bear Mordo?
Yes.
I knew he was never going to get his rocks off.
And then you bring in all these great characters and murk them all.
Yeah. All right, so like real talk.
You do not bring in somebody from the office and they only get 10 minutes on the screen,
to keep it a stack, this whole movie was built up for this one scene, right?
Yes.
And was the scene worth it though? Like
no.
Not even when it happened?
No.
Okay.
We get the black Captain Marvel and she gets, come on, fam. Come on.
She went out the worst. Like, no,
yes.
No. She didn't go out the worst way, but she went out the wackest way.
Captain America went out the worst way, or British America, whatever her name is.
Not Mr. Fantastic?
Oh man, she's silly straight. Like,
I was like, oh my
this was God. Bad because like at first I was like, oh, his body's good because he could break up like that. But then when it got to his brain, a little bit of light was there. She was like, fuck. I was like, oh man.
That makes like,
she closed old boy's mouth. I was like,
yeah,
come on, man. All those people died for nothing. Yeah. This movie was for nothing. I don't even know how it builds into something else.
Somebody said, I saw like a like a meme where someone was like, oh Wanda, you want to find your kids? Black woman is going to tell you. Black woman will tell her where her kids are. And it's just like because she doesn't know until he goes like with one word.
That's it.
He's like, with what mouth?
That's it.
He's like, black woman, tell her where her kids are.
Say what? I mean, I was like,
You know?
Like, oh man, like this joint was terrible. I don't even know how this connects to another movie. Like soon as this movie bombed.
Did you stay for both the Easter eggs?
Yes, they were whack.
The last Easter egg was definitely whack.
What?
That's his future wife, man.
I don't care. This joint was terrible, man. And then it's just like I don't know.
You're throwing around the word terrible a lot. Like, be honest. Like, I don't think this movie was that great.
There were parts that are entertaining because of the cinematic value where you're like, okay, a fight. Okay, superpowers. Okay, this is dope. But, like, the movie just, like, it bombed for me.
I do think the movie was weak.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was great at all. I think it's definitely, like, a middle tier Marvel movie.
Right.
Stuff like that. But, like, I don't think it was bad. Like, that's my thing. Is like, there was a lot of it. I was like, ooh, this is a mess.
Right.
Like there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's like the way that they're moving about it. It was a lot like so like I kind of came down to this, and it's like who are the main characters that we're supposed to care about in this movie? It's like Doctor Strange, Wanda, America Chavez. Wanda,
why is that her name?
That's her name in the comics.
Why is that her name though?
I mean, what for me? She's from the future, like in the comics. I'm pretty sure.
Nope, she's just from another universe.
I'm talking about in the comics, like she's from like the future.
Oh, okay.
Like it's like I'm not even sure if like that's her powers in the comics. I think they might have made this power different for the the movie. But like I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I'm the biggest America Chavez fan and know her whole history and do all that. But so like Wanda, I feel like we understand, we get what Wanda's going with and stuff like that. So like the whole movie, like I get what she's doing. There's usually in Marvel movies, like at the end of the day, there's always something that we come back to, like some sort of string where it's just like, you know, this movie wraps up. It's really about Tony and Pepper. It's really about Star-Lord and Gamora. It's about Drax and this. It's like, it's about this. And it's like, I feel like this movie was supposed to be about like, you know, especially when it's always like a seasoned master and a young. This movie should have been a Karate Kid version, right?
Yes.
Where it's like she's Daniel-san, he's Miyagi, and it's just like she's supposed to get Doctor Strange to realize that something specific and that he needs to figure out and stuff like that. And then at the same time, he's teaching her how to do certain stuff, and that never really happens. Like the whole thing.
I felt like Jaden Smith in that movie. I hate it here. I want to go home.
Because like,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
The whole thing is like it's like, you know, like the whole thing, it just leads up to him being like, you gotta believe.
Right.
And I'm like, that's it. I'm like, that's the thing. I'm like, you know, like it would have been real easy for him. Like he saw 3 different versions of himself.
Yes. And
it's like, that's the thing where it's like, this sit down is like, this is what I figured out. Like, these are what these people don't get. These are why I'm different. And I'm going to explain to you why I'm different and why these things are different and like why this will make you great. And then she's like, wow, bam, this makes sense for me. Now I can figure out my powers.
Now I can do everything. Bang, bang. Come on.
But it's like, that's how it's supposed to be done. And it's like, it just wasn't done like that. And it was just like like some of these sets pieces are cool, some of these ideas are cool, but it's like this movie. I mean, the best way to put this is the best version of this movie was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Yes. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse does almost the same exact movie, the same exact way. Granted, it's animated, but it's like we found a way to care about all these characters and their limited screen time.
After this movie came out, I heard they're killing part of the Spider-Verse, right?
What do you mean now?
Yeah.
It got delayed.
No, like a prior Spider-Man is like being deleted or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't hear about
I'll
that.
look into it and get the facts before I just throw it out there.
Because that was real crazy. Because I was like, you're just saying a lot of stuff now.
Yeah, I think the most entertaining part for me was Dead Strange, like the dead body.
That was entertaining to you? Because I feel like the whole time I was like, oh my goodness, like this Dead Strange thing is
no. When he like took the souls and made the cape and then flew up there and then
I was like, this looks cool, but I was like, this also doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah, of course not.
But I was like, it was just when Rachel McAdams was like, yo, like use them. I'm like, bitch, how do you know how to do any of this shit? Like as I said, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like
she did the same thing for Strange as she did for the little girl. We just have to talk to you and text
right. I'm like, what is
and it works. Like, yeah. But I thought it was dope because it was just like he flew up there and then that's like he was fighting with Wanda. I was like, oh
my God. So Wundagore Mountain is a whole nother thing in the comics too. And I was like, this is what we're doing with Wundagore Mountain. It's a lot. But like, what I'm saying is like, so we get there and Wong's like, oh yeah, like we're like magicians aren't supposed to come here. Wizards aren't supposed to come here. She's just like, oh. And they float right up. And then I'm like, why couldn't we sleep right? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are these things that are guarding this?
They were waiting for me. We don't know because you're dead now.
But I was just like, it seemed like
and they were hard to kill.
No, not at all.
They were hard to kill.
Apparently,
Wong's body was.
Apparently, like his little bungee cord thing, he could just throw it right through their chin and they're dead.
That's it. That man peeked over and was like, oh, I'm gone.
Yeah. I was like, what? Because at first I was like, oh, these are the mindless ones, like from the comics. And I was like, these things are actually pretty hard to deal with. And I was just like, oh, they're not that. Nah, like, I don't know what these are.
The bros was up out of there.
It was a frustrating movie to say the least.
And then she was like, I'm gonna make sure that nobody else makes this poor decision. Nobody else was but you.
And then it was like, I'm real big on if I don't see you die, you ain't dead.
Right.
And it was like there was a little red puff.
Right.
And I was like, Wanda's still around. I thought for sure. So like this is what I was waiting for. And like this is we could do this on like the Joel's Writer Corner, all this other stuff. We could do it whatever you want to call this thing. The whole time I was waiting. Like, because like the way that they kind of like get her to come to snap back to her senses is like, she sees her kids and stuff like that.
Right.
I don't know where my homie's been. I don't know what's going on. Where's White Vision to show up and be like, yo, listen, like you are more than this stuff like that for your children. They're more than this. And it's like,
it should be him somewhere else, right?
He's out there. He's in their main world.
Oh, remember, that's right. From WandaVision. That's right.
He's out here. Right. Where's White Vision?
Who knows everything?
Knows everything. He's the perfect Vision. Where are you at, man?
Maybe he knew it was going to work out.
I don't know, man. Like, yo, I was waiting.
Maybe he knew to stay away from Wanda.
He was like, damn, gotta get me.
Maybe they found another Wanda somewhere else. Like, whoa, I get all the Wanda without the Wanda. I'm gonna chill here.
To be fair, though, the scene where Doctor Strange first comes to her, she's like, oh, like just bring America here, and then he stops for a second. She's like,
that was whack too.
She's like, I never said her name.
Right.
I was like,
that was whack.
I thought that was fire.
I was like, so Wanda. As soon as it happened, I was like, wait. So they gotta fight Wanda this whole movie? I was like, already under detained. Already. I was like, man. I saw this already.
There you go.
I saw this on Disney Plus. I don't need to watch it in the movies. I don't. I was like, you literally all you did was take away Vision and put in Doctor Strange, and you're somewhere else. Like this is like I'm all set, man.
I mean, isn't that?
She was like, I blew a hole through the one I love's head, and it didn't even matter. What you're doing right now doesn't matter either, but you're still killing people. Like, so you're worried about this one person that you didn't kill, and like you should have just killed him the first time.
I thought for sure Wong was gonna die in this movie too. That was like they tried to like pretend kill him like 6 times.
If Wong died, I would have definitely been all set. I would have definitely been all set, man. And
I was like, instead they're gonna show us like these sorcerers that we don't give two flying crap. Right. Like one of them is half bull, but they never explain that. Like I'm just like, what is going on? Like what is going on?
He makes me laugh and smile without even putting in effort. Like when he's like, you must bow, it's ancient custom. And like when somebody bowed, it was like, see, ancient custom.
Don't get me wrong, Wong's goated.
Yes.
Like when he showed up in Shang-Chi, and I was like, yes, goated.
Then you get the call back, and Dr. Strange bows to him. He's like, "Oh, thank you." It's like, yes, like
you got to watch the show Marco Polo that he's on. He plays Genghis Khan. Yo. He's amazing in it.
You have not told me about this.
I've been talking. All right, we're not gonna get into this. We're not gonna get into this.
Writing it down.
We're not gonna do that. Do you have anything else to say about Doctor Strange? I don't think I ever gave my take on like where it goes.
Go ahead. I'm going.
I already know.
Scoops, poops.
I don't think this movie's that bad. I think it is between matinee and $5 Tuesday. I think if you're a Marvel fan and like you got to check these movies out because like you know it means something to things that are coming up next, then it's obviously a matinee movie. But I think if you don't care about these Marvel movies and stuff like that, it's a $5 Tuesday. That's kind of where I'm at with it.
Get that joint the harder they fall treatment.
all right. I said we're running long. Come on. All
right, so how about we go to football first because it's very little, and then we'll go to basketball.
Go to football.
All right. Man, get out my way. Watch out as I come through. Bust another line, breaking numbers in two. Without getting the pain, what's up you gonna do? I'm harder than hard, rougher than rough. Rah.
How'd that feel?
Terrible.
Oh, okay.
Somebody feeding me Brussels sprouts. No, it's not bad. All right, so
just gotta clean out your locker because I'm out to get you. Your family is sleeping. I don't give up.
That felt better.
Yeah, all right, just that little bit, right?
Yes. There. All right, so we'll start with the middle. So Jared Judy, was picked up on charges.
I got the alert, but I did not read into
domestic violence enhancer.
What does that even mean?
He
was on PEDs.
I know what right. So I know the story now. Well, I won't say I know it. I have bits of the story. Mm-hmm. I still don't understand what this enhancer piece means. It feels like as if you didn't know what to charge somebody of. Mm-hmm. So I'm throwing this on there so that I can charge you for something. Because like it's either domestic violence or it's not. And from what I gathered, it was not domestic violence.
Okay.
It was a domestic situation, but there was really no violence.
Let's try to speed through this. Like, what do you got?
Spark notice. So long story short, from what I got is that him and his girl got in an argument. She wanted to leave. They have a child. The child and her stuff was in the car. He was like, "You're not leaving." And she was like, "I'm leaving. I'm leaving with my child and my stuff." And he didn't let her leave. Never put his hands on her. Never put his hands on the child. She called the police. And I guess where they are, detaining someone or their personal effects is still some form of domestic violence, and that's why they put the tag enhancer on there.
But he never put his hands on anybody.
From what I've been told, no.
Okay.
All right. More of the story may come out, but the bottom line for me is like if he has not put his hands on his girl or the child, and they're just simply having an argument that they're working through, you've pretty much defamated this man's character and have arrested him. And you could have potentially ruined his career just because somebody called the police in a situation where things may not have been warranted.
Yeah.
So it's a tough situation. I'm going to continue to follow it to see what we get from it. But as far as I know, it's not like the conditional domestic violence that we've seen in football.
Yeah. Well, the domestic violence we're familiar with.
Right.
Long story short, guys, men or women, don't put your hands on each other, especially if you're in a fight.
Right.
And if one person wants to leave, just let them leave. It's never worth it. Whatever you got to say or whatever you think you got to say, like, listen, if they want to go, let them go.
Right.
If they meant to come back, to come back. And if not, hey, it's their loss.
Yeah. The healing has to happen at some point.
What's next?
Dolphins were in the news.
The news?
Not the news, but they got some highlights of your boy not being able to get the ball to Tyreek.
Okay.
I know some people, Dolphins fans that I have talked to, do not seem worried. They said they'll figure it out. They'll
Tyreek caught the ball.
Bunch. Yeah, he just had to wait 30 seconds for it to land.
Fastest player in the league.
He didn't have any issues with Pat. But they'll figure it out.
I was going to say, like, I feel like you brought this up to try to, like, make fun of my team for the most part.
No, this was real facts. Like, all right, so let's say this is a Raider situation.
Okay.
And Devontae Adams is running a route and he's clean down the court and Derek Carr throws a bad ball. I'm concerned. I'm not super concerned.
We're not making it a whole subject to bring up.
I would have brought it up because, I mean, only for Raiders is different because
they're in a Raiders practice.
I remember Derek Carr throwing a few passes to Antonio Brown. He's like, I'm freezing my fingers and my hands and I'm getting up out of here. Right. You know, so you never know. That chemistry is important, especially with a QB and a wide receiver. So tell your boy, get it together.
I think he's going to be perfectly fine this season. I have no issues with him, and I thought you were going to make some sort of claim, and I was ready to make a bet. I was like, I didn't know what you wanted to do.
No. I'm gonna leave you alone.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave
good idea. I just want to let you know you're not the first person that's brought this up to me, and like every time that I do that thing, I'm like, are you saying that they're not going to be good, or like Tua is going to be bad, or like something like that? Because I was like, if you want to make a wager, and everybody goes, oh, no, that's not what I'm saying. I was like, all right.
Because none of this has anything to do with the Dolphins. Tyreek Hill is proven. So I don't care. That man, he could run a 30-yard route, and Tua could throw it to 15 yards. Tyreek's gonna come back and get that joint, go 15 yards this way, and then straight down the field. So he'll help you.
Just making sure we're on the same page.
Another Dolphin, former Dolphin. Landry just signed with the Saints.
Jarvis Landry.
Which means their receiver core is now Michael Thomas, Landry, Chris Olave, and
Alex Troutman?
Yes. And then I don't know what the status is on Alvin Kamara, but that's a pretty dangerous backfield, man. I mean,
no Sean Payton, though.
It's a dangerous receiving core.
And the guy getting on the ball is Jameis Winston.
It's Jameis Winston. So I'm gonna keep tabs on it only because
Andy Dalton's back.
You know what I mean? Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, both Ohio State boys. So I want to see them be successful. Michael Thomas was at the top of his game before he took a season off, injured.
2 seasons off.
Injured. But he seems really hyped that Chris Olave is there. They just had the Landry signing. Before that, they had the Tyrann Matthew signing. So they have a good chance to turn.
I feel like they're just gearing up to get smacked by these Buccaneers.
Yes, but I mean that division is weak, so the one loss to the Bucs may not be bad.
I guess maybe that's fine.
We'll see what happens.
Ready to skip?
Yep.
All right.
All right. So first things first.
I pop up. Freak Zone, honey. Sorry, it's not talking about Brittney Griner. Go ahead.
Brittney Griner's been detained for another month.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly what's going on. There is a rumor that Russia's trying to trade Brittney Griner for some type of Russian mercenary killer. I can't remember dude's name. I should have wrote it down. I'm deeply sorry. I don't know if it was fake news or not. I will look into it. But the most important thing is that Brittney Griner is still being detained for a month. They had a picture of her being brought into the courthouse. It looked very demeaning. It looked very dark. It looked very hurtful. Like you question somebody's mental health in situations like that. Like she looked like she had the same hoodie on that she probably was wearing in the airport when she got arrested.
Which is like 2 months ago?
It's longer than that. It's been longer than that.
Shit.
But I'm pretty sure they probably cleaned it, but it's just like the fact that like they don't have prison uniform. I don't know what was going on, but she had that same hoodie on and like she has her head down and like all her dreads are coming through the hoodie. It's just almost like she doesn't want to be seen. And it's like, I'm worried about her. I want things to work out. I want Brittney to come home. I know I don't know her personally, but just like seeing people being broken down like that, like you wonder, like even when they obtain their freedom, what freedom looks like. Like, does she play ball again? Or is she okay around the family members or the people that she spent all her time with? Like all that stuff changes the person who you are every day that she spends in that person's cell. So shout out to Brittney. I'm hoping everything works out.
Okay.
All right.
We had 2 games get wrapped up.
Yep. So I'll get through the quick notable stuff. All right. Doc's not getting fired.
But which is surprising because of this downfall of the Philadelphia 76ers.
It keeps looking the same everywhere he goes since the Celtics. Like, I don't know what he really has proven other than he can get players and get good teams and not win. I'll leave it at that. Monty Williams, Coach of the Year, well-deserved.
Absolutely. I think we both said that.
Of course.
To touch back on the Doc thing, though, because It's like I think the narrative is kind of shifted on him where, like, now Doc's a bad coach. And it's like, I know he has like a ton of wins where it's like, I think he's like one of the 15 most winningest coaches like of all time and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't want the narrative to be that Doc Rivers is a bad coach. Because like, I don't think that's the case because I think if in the last 15 years, he's probably one of the 8 best coaches.
Okay.
For the most part, but it's like, but he can get out coached. Like it's okay to like be good, but not be the best. Like he's not great, but he's a good coach. Like there's gonna be a team that could use him. Like I think.
Do you think Eric Spoelstra is a better coach than Doc Rivers?
Yes, I think he's been that.
Okay.
My thing is, I think what Doc Rivers is good at is like he's good at reining in personalities and like kind of like Phil Jackson is good at that, and he's good at the X's and O's and all that other type of stuff. But it's like you give Doc Rivers Ray Allen, Rondo, Paul Pierce, KG, Perkins, like all these big baby. And it's like, I can get them to focus on this thing. And like, granted, like they have their own abilities to actually win the game. And it's like, yeah, I could put them in position, but it's like, for the main thing is like, I'm just making sure that these guys are cohesive on the court.
Right.
I'm not going to push them too hard because I'm going to break them. And I'm not going to do too much. I just want them to play defense, and then offense is kind of like they figure out their own thing.
Gotcha.
Same thing with the Clippers. Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, JJ Redick, Jamal Crawford. These are like big things in there. And like he got them all to focus on this thing, but then it's like injuries really is what killed that team.
Yeah.
For the most part, stuff like that. And then it's like, now he's in Philadelphia, and it's like James Harden, Joel Embiid, like these are big personalities. And it's like, I think that the writing was kind of on the wall. Like I know Stephen A. Smith got a lot of flack for it, but like he kind of was like, he felt like the job was in. Like James Harden, you're going to tell me like in the last, he only took like 6 shots in the last game? 8 shots. And it's like 8, or like, was there some sort of thing beforehand where it was like, him and Daryl Morey are like, listen, we're about to get this coach out of here. We're about to do this new thing. So like, why don't kill yourself in this game. And it was like, he just took the easy way out. Jimmy Butler made him look crazy, bro.
And that man walked to the locker room talking about Tobias Harris
over me. They chose Tobias over me. Elton Brand was like, "Ooh, I'm sorry." But I just want to touch on that real quick because I've always been on the Doc Rivers thing where it's like I don't think Doc's that good. Because I remember when he went to the Clippers and it was like a big thing, and I was like, why does everybody care so much about Doc Rivers
getting these jobs?
And I think he's going to keep, like, they're already saying that he's like a frontliner, or like they were saying that like the Lakers really wanted him to be like the Lakers coach and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah, and I was just like, if that's what LeBron wants, and like that's what he thinks he needs, like go ahead. But it's just like, I don't know. I don't think he's great. I think he's just good. I don't think he's bad.
Leave it to Phil. LeBron is gone. Yeah, I know he's tripping.
That was wild.
All right, so Monty Williams, Coach of the Year.
Yep.
Well deserved. Jokic, MVP.
Come on, man. We already saw that. It was written in blood.
All right.
A lot of people were like, "Oh, that's why he had to accept it in Serbia, like on horseback, because he's not in the playoffs." And it's like, okay, like, but I don't know what that proved. Like, what did he get? 2 games off of the Warriors?
Right. And he hasn't had Jamal Murray for 2 years.
Or Michael Porter this whole year.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, dude deserved MVP.
Yes.
Because the only other person that deserved MVP that's still playing is Giannis Antetokounmpo, because Joel Embiid is also out. So
yeah, there you go. All right, Warriors close out.
Yep.
In 6.
We got to talk about the game before, because you texted me and I was like, don't fall into this narrative.
I asked the question: are the Memphis Grizzlies better with John Morant not on the court?
And what did I say?
You said I was wilding. No, you said don't get ahead of yourself. Let's not start talking crazy talk. The only reason I say that, as a basketball coach, and I don't think it's anything that John Morant does intentionally, but when you get the star name and your team is depending on you to do certain things, that ball sometimes gets stuck in your hands. Giannis used to not be that type of guy. Now he is that type of guy. Like James Harden, Joel Embiid. Like there's a number of different people where your team is counting on you to do things. So now you're taking up the majority of the shot clock to make those things happen that they're depending on you to do. And it's kind of taken away from what made you a superstar, because you're trying to meet the needs of the team rather than getting everybody involved, right? That's why I don't know why people hate LeBron so much, because I think he does a good job of keeping people locked into the game, but still doing what he needs to do. But we won't make this a LeBron thing. When John Morant got injured, the ball stopped sticking to hands and it moved around a lot more, and dudes were flying around the court. And because they were doing so well offensively, it just boosted the defense that they were already playing well to another level. And these guys confidently were keeping up with, like, forget keeping up. They were smacking the Warriors around.
I mean, it was a 50 burger, bro. Like,
yes, like it literally took for Klay Thompson to hit 47 threes and Steph to hit 87 threes for them to get out of this game. And it still didn't look like it was unmanageable, because at one point they were going shot. It was like 13 lead changes before Golden State actually pulled away and was like, all right, we up out of here with this one. You know what I'm saying? Like at that point you do say like, all right, I wish we had 15, 20 points from John Morant. We probably get a dub. But I liked the way, and it's nothing against John Morant. I just liked the way the team looked when the ball was moving around. Like that's basketball.
I mean, that's true. But like as a you said like as a coach, right?
Uh-huh.
I think there's a couple of things that happened in that game. It's like one, the Warrior shots weren't falling.
True.
Jordan Poole wound up getting hurt pretty early in that game,
True.
who's been a big point for their offense
True.
and stuff like that. The Grizzlies were just hot. They just were not missing like that too.
Nope.
And then what happens when the star player goes out and it's like your game plan is to defend the star player who's no longer there. True. Now the game plan is different. And it's like, we don't know who's the hot hand. Is it Desmond Bain? Is it Dylan Brooks? Is it Triple J? Is it Tyus Jones was going crazy and stuff like that?
Right.
Because it was just like our defense is different. And
those
so
touches though.
Yeah. And that's what I mean is like now we're running plays. We're not doing like, Ja get stuff in. But it was like, don't get out. That's why I was like, don't get it twisted. I was like, they missed Ja Morant. And I was like, they're going to miss it. Because then like, yes, they were going shot for shot in this latest game. But then it was kind of in the bag, like in the last couple minutes. And it's like, these are the couple minutes where it's like, ooh, but like, what if Ja Morant does this? And everybody's worried about that. And it's like, that wasn't there. And it was like, and then it was like, yeah, we got Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. What are you talking about? Game 6 Klay became Game 6 Klay that he always is. And it was like, that boy.
He had like 8 threes.
Something like that. Yeah.
I think he made like his first 6.
They should play I feel like every time there's a Game 6 that Klay Thompson is in, they should just play the Undertaker theme song or something. His brother's disgusting. Like my cousin tweeted that he was like Game 6 Klay better than Prime MJ. And it's like, I know he's saying it like for like hyperbole and stuff like that. And it's just like, oh man, he's so annoying. But I'm like, but Game 6 Klay is really different, bro. Like this really is like, if there's a 2K card for that, like that joint is Galaxy Opal or whatever the color is now, Dark Matter. All that, like, it's next level.
Yeah, it was impressive. It was impressive. And once you see them first few fall down, you're like, it's about to be that type of night.
Yeah, man.
It's about to be that type of night. Because once somebody starts hitting like that on the Warriors, it just makes so much space on the court for Steph to get his shot off, or Draymond to rebound and get putbacks, or make those drives to the lanes and kick it back out for good looks. And once he kicks it out, Klay or Steph are not waiting for that shot. That ball's already halfway gone before it hits their hands. So it's like there's no closing out you can do. So they looked really good. They look like championship Warriors.
I know we touched on it real briefly. The Heat wound up cleaning up the Philadelphia 76ers in, I don't want to say disgusting fashion, because it wasn't that. It was like a 9-point loss, but it was definitely a bigger loss than that as it was going. James Harden was abysmal. I know he's getting ready for this big contract extension. The thing is, like, I'm not worried about him. I honestly like I said, like Stephen A. Smith took a big hit for saying that he thought it was like a job that like he kind of threw the game. And it's like, I don't want to say that he threw it. I think it was like he saw how difficult it was. It was just like, I'm not gonna kill myself over this.
Right.
While Joel Embiid is literally over there killing himself for it.
Right. So the Joel Embiid statement, how'd you take that?
Where he was like, he's not that James Harden no more. He's a playmaker now.
Yes.
Is he wrong? I don't know.
No, I don't think he's wrong at all. What I'm saying is, I don't know what that message is coming from Joel Embiid. Like, I'm expecting James to be a playmaker. Like, this is what I expected to get what I got from James. Or was he saying like, we expected more and this is what we're getting, so this is what we're accepting?
I think we're 2 or 3 weeks away from the James Harden was playing on a broken ankle this whole time. Like, we're getting ready to get that story like that's going to be coming out soon. Like, somebody's is writing that right now. Like, what's the most believable thing? But it's like, it's just, for some reason, it's been a rough year for him all the way around. It's like, you started off on the Rockets, you got traded to the Nets, then you went from the Nets to the 76ers. It's like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to like people are already saying that like James Harden's not even like one of the 20 best players in the league and stuff like that. He's awful and he's this and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I'm waiting to see next season. I think him starting the next season on the 76ers, I think they're going to look a lot different. I think they're going to have a new coach, even though they say they're bringing Doc back and stuff like that. Like, I think we're a couple weeks away from like, actually, this is what happened. Doc Rivers has been resigned or whatever it is or stuff like that. I heard talks about Mike D'Antoni. Like, there's a lot of stuff coming up. Like, I'm just saying is like, I think we're going to get a whole new James Harden next year, and then everybody's going to be retracting those statements again. They're like, oh, like he was hurt last year and he was this. And like, now look at him. James Harden's doing this with Joel Embiid and he's throwing alley-oops off the backboard and like all this other stuff. And I think it's going to be completely different. It's going to be a 180. Okay. I think I don't know if he was hurt. I don't know any of that. I think it was just like, we're not going to beat this Heat team. So like, I'm not going to kill myself trying to beat them.
Okay. All right. I'll say Mike Brown did not get himself fired. I forgot to bring that up.
He didn't.
He did not get himself fired from the team he did not get hired by.
Yeah.
But we got 2 game 7s coming up tomorrow.
Big ones.
Very big ones.
And I can't wait.
I cannot.
That was one of the main reasons why I wanted to do the pod tonight. Because I was like, I don't want you to interrupt these games at all.
Right. Listen. I do not know what to expect. I'm gonna keep it all the way real. I do not know what to expect.
If I'm not mistaken, don't we have quite a bit line on these games? I'm pretty sure I have the Celtics. You have the Bucks, and then
I had the Heat.
Yep.
You had the Warriors.
Yep. So it's tied.
Yep.
So that means we need these two.
Yeah, you picked the Celtics. I picked the Bucks. Yeah, and I
think I got Phoenix.
You have Phoenix. I have the Mavericks. I feel like the Suns about to.
I don't know, bro. I really don't know.
I don't know. It all depends on what team shows up. Like so
at the end of the day,
I wanted to talk about the last Suns game because.
Well, what's about? We do Celtics first, then we can talk about Celtics
first.
But like at the same, I just wanted to say like, Luka and Giannis are the best two people in these playoffs, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just on that. But go ahead.
Yeah. So for me, I don't think the Mavericks are winning these games. The Suns are losing these games.
I agree.
And it's for a number of different reasons. So, of course, we know the CP3 implosion. I don't know what's going on there. He needs to figure it out because if not, this could literally be his last chance to get a ring. All right, there is no running it back next year. The running back next year
What's this year?
is this year to see if you can get the ring. And if not, it's like this team looks different next year. Devin Booker, I don't have anything to say about him. Like the kid is playing fantastic. He's doing everything he needs to do. I would like to see a little bit more defense from this guy, but it is what it is.
There was a lot of discourse before this last game where people were like, "Oh, like who's better, Devin Booker or Luka Doncic?" And I was like, "Have you been watching basketball?"
Yeah, that's terrible.
Like I know that like Devin Booker got a lot more MVP votes than Luka and stuff like that, and like the Suns were where they were. But I was like, if you're watching this basketball, if you traded them for one another.
Right.
This Suns team looks very different with Luka on it than Devin Booker.
I need Bridges to stop shooting threes and drive the lane.
Okay.
And just play defense because that's what you've been doing. Like every time you shoot the ball is cringeworthy and it's not helping. Crowder needs to get more touches.
Okay.
He has been playing.
That's a wild thing I haven't heard anybody say. I don't think I've ever heard that sentence.
I think he's been and this is coming from a guy who usually says Crowder's shot has been inconsistent, but he has been the guy that you could depend on in this series. I'm not going to talk about all the playoffs, but in this series, he has been finding his shot. He's been finding a way to the rack. He's been making sure to move around in the offense.
So man, I lost my $50 on that game, man. That was great.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, and then lastly, DeAndre Ayton, I hate to say it, but he's a defensive liability. Like he's coming off lazy off the pick and rolls. He's not closing out on shooters. Like he's in no man's land where you're like, I want to step back in case he drives, but I don't want to close out so he blows by me. When you're making that decision, you're not guarding anything. And these people are pulling up and you're closing out with this whack. Bro, you're almost 7 feet. If you close out heavy and you extend that hand, it changes the idea of taking that shot or you get a block. And he's not making that extra effort. And then on top of that, because you're letting them stretch you away from the rim, you're not hustling back to crash the boards when you're already in no man's land. So you're not either defending the shot that goes in or right. And then you're not getting the rebound. And then that's what I was going to say. If your team does get the rebound, you're not running the break. Then when they do give you the ball, you are not strong around the rim. And this is what the issue I had with DeAndre Ayton last year when everybody was doing what they needed to do and he did not come through. Now, if you're having these woes and then Chris Paul's having these woes, like Devin Booker's not going to give you 75 a game. Like something needs to happen. It looks really dark for them.
It does. And I think a lot of it stems from them defensively.
Yes.
Because like I feel like they've been on their heels quite a bit and like they're forcing a lot of stuff on offense. And like I feel like when the games first started, it was like, I don't care if Luka gets 50, everybody else is not getting nothing.
All right.
And then like they've deviated from that.
Yes.
And like these Mavericks are looking like they look like a team of Reggie Millers. I was like, they're not missing. And it's like, yo, close out on these guys. Like let Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, whoever's the person that you're throwing at Luka, I hate to tell it to you, dog. Like he's gonna toast you.
Right.
He's gonna get his 50. He's gonna do stuff like that. But
let him have it.
But like everybody else out here, why is Jalen Brunson eating them so crazy, bro? He's lighting
confidently doing it too.
Yes.
That when he got Devin Booker up out of there, like, what you say to me last play? Get this layup right quick and look at you while I go down the court. I was like, ugh.
Doesn't look good. He's getting paid this summer.
Oh yes.
I heard that the Pistons want him, and I was like, for what, man? We got Cade. But all right,
end up in New York.
Here it goes. All right.
I had to.
But like, I don't really have anything else to say. That like, I don't want to make a pick. Like, I know we already made our picks before this. I would love for the Suns to just close them out, if I'm being honest.
Yes, me too.
Because like, I feel like all they're doing is just feeding them to the Warriors, and it's like I feel like the Suns could actually beat the Warriors.
Right. And that would be a more entertaining series.
Yes. So like Suns,
because they're gonna throw Draymond on Luka.
Let him go. They'll throw Wiggins on him.
There you go.
There's Wiggins.
And we're gonna take everything else away.
Yeah.
And their 50 is now 35.
Well, that depends. Is Mike Brown coaching?
Somebody said Mike Brown needs to kick COVID and go chill with Steve Kerr.
Yeah. Where's Luke Walton at? Look at he's already on the Kings.
Yeah.
He's already on the Kings.
Oh man, how does he still have a job?
He doesn't anymore. About to be Mike Brown's.
Oh my goodness, he will end up somewhere.
Chris Paul, please. There's nothing I want more than for you to get this ring. Like
I wanted you to get a ring last year.
I wanted you to get the ring, Chris Paul. Just please, so that way when I have these arguments with these people, I could be like, Chris Paul got a ring now.
You got a ring.
Yeah, you one of the what? 4 or 5 greatest point guards of all time.
Every team you go to, their wins increase by 30. Like, you are the guy. Just be the guy, please.
The marquee matchup of the NBA playoffs so far: Celtics and Bucks. Like, what up? These games are heart attack games, bro. Like, they just like every time. I'm like, damn.
What did Tatum have? 47.
47.
Giannis had 44.
They had the Friday the 13th. When Jason Tatum won it. Oh, it's disgusting.
Goodness.
And I ate it up, but I was like, oh my God. And I don't even care for the Celtics like that. And I don't care for the Celtics team like that.
The Celtics at all.
But I was like, oh my God. I was all about this Jason Tatum Giannis matchup. I was like, whoa. I was like, Giannis got his 44 and 20?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my. I was like, this is the type of playoff basketball I'm here for.
I had missed calls, text messages. I even had a voicemail. Someone said, oh, you wasn't gonna answer my number, so I called you from another number. Like, oh, this is Yo,
are we gonna talk about the first game first, where the improbable comeback?
I don't want to talk about
the Bobby Portis game.
I don't want to talk about any of it.
You don't want to talk about any of it?
But no, we can't. I just don't like talking about the Celtics, and it's not even the Celtics for me because I like a lot of the players on the Celtics. It's the Celtics fans. Like, you guys are.
We live in New England, bro. Like, that's what we get.
My goodness, you guys are so obnoxious sometimes, man. It's just it bothers me so much. But yeah, so the game before that. Long story short. All for me, like, everybody's trying to put blame somewhere. If I'm putting on somebody, it's on Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart. I don't want to blame one or the other, but like, when you're on the court and you're chasing a rebound, you have to know where you are as teammates. You have guys be like same, or whatever it is. They both made a great effort for rights to the ball, but neither one of them knew where they was. Then you have the freak situation where, for me, I think Marcus Smart had more liberty to the ball because of the way he was attacking at a straight-on angle, and Jaylen Brown was kind of coming across.
I'm looking at the angle, a reason why your thigh is attacking that short like that. Like, it is making me very uncomfortable.
These are my New York Knicks joints, bro. I'm wearing them, hoping that you know what I mean? Something happen. Leave it alone.
I hope something doesn't happen over here. Like, that's all I'm saying. I'm sorry, but go ahead. I hate to watch it, but I couldn't keep my eyes off it. It was like a lot.
Right.
And you didn't fix it.
It's a gift and a curse. It's a gift and a curse.
I feel cursed.
Since high school. You know what I mean? But, so Jaylen Brown's coming across this way. Marcus Smart's coming down this way. Like I said, I think Marcus Smart has rights to the ball. Jaylen Brown comes over. The ball gets tipped out of Marcus Smart's hands. They collide. So it leaves that whole side of the court open for Bobby Portis to grab the rebound and put it back up. That's the game. That's the game.
And then, hold on. Then you come back down the court, and then Drew Holiday, the immaculate block.
Two defensive.
That's what I'm saying. He makes this immaculate block on Marcus Smart, grabs the ball, throws it off.
That was before the rebound.
No, that was after.
No, that was before the rebound because the Celtics got the ball, and then when Marcus Smart was coming down the court, Drew Holiday stole the ball from Marcus Smart at the end of the game.
Okay.
So he made 2 great defensive plays.
Okay, yeah.
So but that's what he's known for. He's known to play defense, and
he looked at the defensive player of the year and was like, "That's how you play defense."
He did a defensive play of the year against the defensive player.
That's what I'm saying. He looked at him.
That's a Marcus Smart thing right there. Like, when he made the block, I was like, oh, they're gonna call foul. They didn't call foul. I was like, oh, he's out of bounds.
That was a clean block. You thought they were gonna call foul on that?
Yes. Yes, I thought they was going to call foul because the refs have been real sketchy. So I was
These
like,
refs haven't been sketchy.
So I was like, they about to call foul. They didn't call foul. I was like, oh, he's about to go out of bounds. He was not out of bounds. Then he turned around and threw it off of Marcus Smart. I was like, oh, Marcus about to catch that joint because of his defensive IQ. And then when he didn't and they hit him with it, Marcus was like, that's something I would have did to you. He knew right away, like, dang, that was
but the way he fleeced them though.
Yes.
At the end, I was like,
yes.
He could have took the ball and then pulled his shorts down and kept it moving.
Like I said, that he did some Marcus Smart stuff to Marcus Smart. You gotta respect it. But
so then we go back to this game.
Yes.
Which is it's now been dubbed the Tatum game.
Yes.
Say the Celtics got their back to the wall. It's game 6.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting ready to go home. Jason Tatum is like, not on my watch. You shall not pass. And that man put the team on, like the Greg Jennings, put the team on my back. Because he was looking left and right. He was like, anybody want to help me out here? Jaylen Brown winds up hitting a 3. And I was like, oh, there we go. He's finally somebody in there. And then
and I keep getting these texts from Celtics fans. And some of them that watched the pod was like, oh, your boy Tatum showed up. I'm like, yeah, but you guys understand, like, I'm not hating on Jason Tatum. I love
it. Feels like you hate
on
Jason Tatum.
I'm not hating on Jason. I want to make that clear.
Please make it as clear as you possibly can.
I'm going to make it as clear as possible. I love Jason Tatum's game. I hate that he plays for y'all. I'm going to make that clear because y'all do not deserve Jason Tatum. But
I'm not going to lie. That makes a lot more sense because you've been very hard on him.
Yes, I love Jason Tatum. I like the fact that he wants to put the work in, Kobe being his idol. Like, you could see that the kid's working on his game. What I keep bringing up is that he has to be consistent. And the games that the Celtics are losing is because of his inconsistent shooting. So, yes, he gave y'all the Friday the 13th 47 game. But what if next game he gives y'all 25, but it takes 24 shots for him to get it, and then they end up losing by 3? Like, he shot very well last game.
So he pulls a Kyrie Irving, you're saying?
Right. So it's just like, you look at it, every game that they won and lost is because the inconsistency in his play. If you're the guy, then you have to be the guy, but you got to string those games together. I'm not saying it has to be every night, but at least, like, let's get game to game, at least get 2 games in a row. It's like, we're going to win one, we're going to lose one, we're going to win, we're going to lose one. If that's what you're doing, then it's lined up for the Bucks to win, and you shoot terribly, and they get up out of there with a game 7.
I feel like we're going long.
Okay.
But I feel like I have a question.
Okay.
But I feel like it's going to make us go longer.
Okay.
Are you down for it or not?
I'm here. We got timestamps.
Listen, so Nick Wright and a bunch of other guys, after this performance, they were like, Jason Tatum has officially entered the superstar club. Like I said, you've been pretty hard on him this year. Do you feel Jason Tatum is officially in the superstar club?
I'm going to be fair. If you lose to the Bucks, I'm going to say no. If they beat the Bucks, I would say yes.
But like someone like Luka, is Luka a superstar?
Yes.
He's most likely going to lose to these Suns. If he loses, is he just not a superstar anymore? I'm just saying, I'm trying to make it fair on both sides.
Yeah.
I'm asking, like, what's the difference between Tatum and Luka?
Luka doesn't have Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart.
Okay, so that's what changes it.
Or Al Horford.
What's one of those games we got to call it Al Horford game because he's been outstanding.
Yes.
I don't
know if I brought this up already, but like I seen the quote. I think it was from his sister when she was like, it was right after Giannis dunked on Al Horford, and he looked at him. He was like, and she was like, "This is where the Bucks messed up. I've seen this face before. He's mad."
Yeah, okay, got you.
And then, lo and behold,
hey. That boy,
and that's what I'm saying is like, because a lot of people talking about this Jason Tatum stuff, like if Al Horford doesn't have the 30-point game, guess what? Y'all still lose because it took him 27 shots to get 30 points. That man Al Horford was hitting.
I just want to say that, to be fair, they're playing Giannis though. Like that's the difference. Is like they're playing Giannis.
I get it.
Like
I get it. Giannis can't guard everybody.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Giannis is guarding Al Horford. So Jason, get off. When Giannis is guarding Jason, Al Horford, get off. Like, figure it out. You're playing for a championship against a team who just won the championship.
I think Jason Tatum's a star. I think he's above an all-star.
Okay.
But I think he's in that level where he's between a superstar and a star.
Yep.
And I think
like we're saying the same thing.
And I think he's kind of like on that star level. I don't know why. I don't have a specific reason why I don't think that he's a superstar yet.
Stamp it in this game 7. beat the champs, shoot well, get your team over the hump, I rock with you. Despite your
I think it's because I have so much respect for the other Celtics, and that's really what it is. It's like you're not carrying this team. Like you're carrying the load offensively, but it's like I really like Jaylen Brown. I really like Marcus Smart. I like
Jaylen Brown.
I like Time Lord. I like Al Horford. I like Derek White. And it's like they're an amazing defensive team, and it's like you are the offensive anchor. I think you're an offensive superstar without a doubt. But I think that's what it is the both ends. But then the job that he pulls on Kevin Durant with defensively, that was the whatchamacallit. That was the one where I was looking at him and I was like, Jason Tatum looking real superstarish right now.
That was dope. Well, he'll have a real test. I mean, not to jump forward, but he'll have a real test next year because this team's not going to look the same next year.
I think if I had a vote, he would make my all NBA first team.
Okay. And
like to me, all NBA first team guys should be granted superstar status.
Okay. So
like, I know I just said I think he's a star.
I was about to say,
I'm gonna whatchamacallit. I think Jason Tatum belongs in a superstar conversation. How about that? Does that make sense? It's like I think I could be easily swayed either way.
Feel however you want to feel.
I just want to make it make sense because like I it's mostly be Miz who thinks we hate the Celtics, which I don't hate the Celtics.
No, I hate the Celtics.
I don't.
I hate the franchise idea of the Celtics.
All right, but like with that being said, tomorrow, even though like I have the Celtics in our 2-minute drill pool. I really want Giannis and the Bucks to win. I really do.
Yeah, and you have the Suns and the Mavs, but I really want the Suns to win.
Yeah.
So it is.
Are we rooting for the same teams? Are we both rooting Bucks Suns?
Yes.
I want them both to go back to the finals. If I'm being honest, like
I do too.
I think Miami's a stepping stone.
I do too.
And I think Golden State's a stepping stone.
I do too.
So like,
that's I'm gonna call Golden State a stepping stone.
It's a kidney stone.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to pass that. Oh.
That was not bad. That was actually really good. I'm proud of you on that one.
All right, well, let's get to this heavyweight level.
Yeah, you interrupted me because I was going to be like, it's almost like, because what you won't do for love. You tried everything, but you don't give up. I'm trying to speed through it. I didn't know if that was going to bother you.
All right, so I'm not going to hold y'all long. We got 2-part series.
You leaned into stuff.
Leaned in.
We talking about.
But
you don't want to hear through the floorboards. That's the problem.
It's tripping, man. It's tripping, man. All right, so remember I said I was gonna break this up into 2 parts. Yeah, I'm hungry, man. I got a little buffalo chicken.
I'm glad that happened though, because I definitely forgot about my cold stone upstairs, and I was definitely about to leave that in the freezer. Snap. That's why you were like, "Yo, put it in the freezer. Put it in the freezer." I was like, "Don't forget
that." All right, so listen.
COVID commander.
Here you go. I gave you my last word.
Finish it. Whatever it takes to get you.
No, it's all right. We good. All right. So I wanted to talk on the topic of in-laws. All right. So there's like a good, bad, and
you're trying to speed through this too. You're using your fast voice. Like I want to talk about in-laws.
No. I'm not gonna rush through it. So
if you have any symptoms of diarrhea ahead of that's a true the side effects include.
So there is the good and the bad that comes with it, right? We'll talk about the bad next week, right? But we want to focus on the good. All right. So I want to start by making sure that we understand, like, when you are choosing someone to spend the rest of your life with, there are things that come with that. All right. And that thing are the in-laws. All right. And I know there's always been this bad stipulation of like in-laws are terrible and they're here to ruin your life and they're here to like make your marriage miserable. It doesn't have to be that way. You understand? If you go in with that mindset, then that's how things are going to feel.
Is that up to you or is that up to them though?
I think that's up to you.
Okay.
Your end of it is up to you. Because when we talked about all these relationship stuff and these communications, sometimes you have to be willing to be the bigger person and let some stuff go. Like we've talked about it. Would you rather be right or would you rather be happy?
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? At the end of the day, for me, it's like as frustrating as an in-law may try to be, or how things may go where they may make your spouse upset, you still have to understand, like, you do not have to sleep with them. You do not have to lay down next to them. Like, so your main priority should be keeping the one who you love sane and happy. Mm-hmm. All right. You're going to have good times. You're going to have bad times. That's just the way life goes. You understand? But if you're putting more emphasis on the things that go wrong, then you can never enjoy the enjoyable times. Because even in those good moments, you're going to be like, oh, well, last week this, or oh, this makes perfect sense, because you're already coming in with the aspects of things being negative and things being messed up that you can't even enjoy or build that relationship. Like, and this even extends further than in-laws. Like, so my wife has brothers, sisters, mom, dad. Like, these are all people I have to grow to love because they're a part of my wife's life. It's not just like I'm gonna marry you and take you away from all the people you care about. It's not realistic. It's not realistic.
Okay, but like, what about the reverse of that though? So like, you have this person that you care for dearly, and it's like you are building with this person, and like you are helping them through like their trauma to like try to realize these things about themselves to figure it out.
Okay.
And then you come to realize, listen, a lot of the reasons for this trauma is like your in-laws and your parents, and like they are damaging you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like every time that we come over here, like you are not better and like you are not fine. Like how do you navigate that portion of it?
And I'm a conversation guy.
Yeah.
And a lot of the reason that this trauma goes unaddressed is because you don't talk about it. So in those moments of frustration or where that tearing down happens, you can say, hey, listen, now that we've identified the problem, how are we going to maintenance the problem? Because it can't just be, now we know what's going on and I'm going to try to not let it make me mad. Like, no, let's address it and figure it out. So now you're not only helping yourself or helping that person help themselves, but you're also helping that family address something that may not have been addressed. So now not only are you relieving something that was a problem, but you're growing the relationship as well. And not only is it promoting growth for you and the one that you love, but also for those people that may have been the problem. Because a lot of the times when that happens, it's been happening for so many years that unconsciously you just keep doing it without knowing that you could be potentially damaging someone. So you have to find those opportunities to say, hey, listen, this is where we are with this, and this is why we're here with this, and this is what needs to happen. It's never going to go right the first conversation, because hearing that news is effective. Like, I may even have to have those conversations down the line with my sons, because there is no handbook that comes with parenting.
Not at all.
So you're going to make.
I've yet to meet the person who has it 100% figured out.
Right.
Whoever that is.
I've literally had conversations with my oldest where I've literally apologized to him, like, hey, listen, I'm sorry you had to be the trial and error for how we figured out how to parent, but we are getting better, but there still could be some trauma down the line that needs to be addressed there. And there could be a conversation that comes back to me like, hey, I am this way because of this. I can't reject that or say, oh, no, you're bugging. You had the best dad ever. And you always got to do this, that, and the third. That's only going to add another layer to that trauma.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to be open to that. But as a person going to have that conversation, you have to know that there's going to be some pushback, and make sure that you're making yourself available to say, like, all right, why do you not agree? Or why do you not believe this? Because I'm telling you something and you're not hearing me, and that's how you're able to like break down those walls. And then people get to a point to where, again, they're accepting themselves and their responsibility, and where that responsibility may have fell short or been great, so that the time that you do have can be better than what it was. Like, there's no like sugarcoating it. Like, me and my dad didn't grow up together, like, but we have a really good relationship right now. And that took time over the years of me like being able to have those conversations with him about like, this is how I felt as a teenager, like being just with my mom. This is what I was going through. And we had the moments where we were like apologetic and some tears dropped, and it was just like, all right, we moving past that. What do we have left? Like, you have a relationship with your son that you can build. Like, I now know my brothers and sisters. Like, you have grandchildren. Like, all this stuff is important. And if we're holding on to this stuff, it ruins what we have. I tell my basketball players, it's like, you make a bad decision on the court, and you chase that mistake and make another bad decision. Now you frustrated. Now the next opportunity that presents itself to you, which is the open three or the chance to play stellar defense, is not going to happen because you're holding on to this. Let it go and be ready for the next moment of greatness. And a lot of times we overlook those opportunities.
I know this is supposed to be like the good portion of it, and there's like the bad and stuff like that. So like, I don't know if you want to tackle this, but like, yeah, that all sounds nice and stuff like that. But like, I think even like speaking specifically to you and your dad stuff, it's like, yeah, but you both were open to that, and you both had that conversation. So like, what happens when you need to have that conversation, the other person isn't open for that? Because like, one of the reasons why, like, trauma occurs and then continues to occur is because like, for some reason, there's someone who's not trying to change its behavior, and it's a behavior that's been recognized and no one's touched on this. So like, especially like you, like not you specifically, but like as like a person who's coming into an in-law situation, and it's like, it's your wife, it's your husband, and it's like you can see this thing that is hurting your wife and husband, and it's like you feel like it needs to be addressed, but they're just like, no, but this is how we always do it.
Yeah.
So then how do you navigate that?
So that is part of the bag.
All right, so we can save it if you want to save it.
Yeah, so I'm a poster board that one. Okay. Well, I will tailor it with some good. I was like, in those situations, you just have to remain available. And I know that's tough because
not for me. I'm always available.
Yeah, it's still strenuous, and you're still frustrated about the things that may not be working out. But if you don't remain available, when that person finally does say, okay, I want to talk about this, or even if they come with an attitude like, tell me what you think, if you don't keep that availability, then it gets shot down before it even happens. And then it just continues to be bad. And then you get to have the opt out option of saying, oh, see, this is what it's always been, or see, this is what I expected. But don't have that expectation of negativity. Because then when you get that, you're going to be like, all right, well, like this is the only thing you tailored yourself to receive. Like if you didn't make the availability for things to get fixed or things to go right, then don't get mad when they don't. Like it literally doesn't make sense. So that's where I was at with it.
Well, exactly. I don't know, like if you had anything else for it. I know that this is a 3-parter or a 2-parter. Is it? I'm
gonna do a 2-part. The bad and the ugly is gonna come next.
Okay.
The bad and the ugly is gonna come next because that's a really tough situation.
I know we had a lot to get through, like on this one.
Yes.
And like on this episode in general. So like, I like. If that's all you need for the good, then like that's fine. And like
because the good part is easy. Yeah, like, the good part, the easy stuff is easy to do.
Oh, it's great when they have great in-laws.
Exactly.
Like, it's great when people fill in.
Exactly. But when you get to that bad and that tough stuff, that's when things get a little rocky, not just for those relationships, but then it becomes detrimental to the marriage because like sometimes it's not always just the in-laws situation that you have to worry about, but you have to worry about how you approach your spouse and how they defend the negative behavior because they haven't addressed it. And now they're coming at you rather than coming at, but we'll get to that.
But like, in my limited situations, like with in-laws and stuff like that, I always get along pretty well with them, especially mothers.
Yeah.
And it's like, I always be, and like, first of all, women and their mothers are just like, that's like a whole situation, like in itself. And it's like, it's a whole different pocket that you have to deal with.
Yeah. And I'm blessed. I'll make that clear. I'm blessed.
Jesus, man, like you really that hungry?
Yeah.
That just sounded crazy.
Yeah.
But it's just like, like I get along with them like pretty well and stuff like that. And then like a lot of times I could just go there. It's like, like you're just lucky that they're here. Like, I was like, you realize like you don't have to spend time with my in-laws and stuff like that. Or like, I don't have any in-laws because it's like, I don't got no parents around and stuff like that. Right. And it's just like, like sometimes maybe you should be a little bit more appreciative. Like some of the things that you're mad about, they're like, I know it seems super serious. And it's like, because like, first of all, I say that about a lot of stuff. It's not that serious. So like, like we gotta take that with a grain of salt. Take that with a grain of salt. Like, cause it's like, like I get that all the time. It's like, well, nothing's ever serious to you. And it's like, all right. Like, I said, I don't put a lot of weight on certain things. Cause it's like, when you lose the things that really matter, like you start to realize like what actually matters and stuff like that. And like, sometimes like this little argument because like she said that you look a little chunky in your outfit, but it's like, I understand like that also leads to like other things where like she makes you feel insecure about your body weight, like a lot of times before. But then it's like, you have to realize that like they're people as well. And it's like, they were trying to figure out how to parent you the best way while they were still dealing with their trauma from back then. And it's just like, a lot of them are like, if you're at to the point where you're having in-laws and stuff like that, a lot of them are on their way out soon. And it's like, what can you do to make things easier for them? Cause then like that in turn makes it easier for your spouse. Right. And it's like, I see it more with men versus women where it's like, men would just be like, I'm just going to take on this stuff. And it's like, I will just eat all this bad stuff. So that way you just don't have to, because like, I can do that. But I do think like women, like emotionally, like will do that thing. Like in my case, like I've had women like go to like my dad or something like that and like have like a conversation with them is like, you do realize that like, he's mad cool and like all this other stuff is happening, but it's like, like you really hurt him like when you do these things or like when you say this and stuff like that. And it's like, it's really appreciative that you do that. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, just don't do that. Now you're gonna open this wound and I gotta talk to this man that I want to. So like that or whatever. And it's just like, finding the right time to like, because it's overstepping a boundary, but sometimes it's a boundary that needs to be overstepped in order for true healing and stuff like that to begin for healthy relationships.
There you go. I like that.
Anime?
In May.
Oh, I was like, you about to eat the cake?
He said any May.
Right.
So with that being said, Do
you have a cultural gem?
I have a cultural gem.
Shine bright like a diamond.
And keeping with the correlation of like Kendrick's album and it being May Mental Health Month.
Okay.
And talking about relationships and unaddressed trauma, I decided to go with Antoine Fisher.
Damn, that's a heavy ass movie.
It is. It is.
For some reason, I thought you were gonna like at the last minute like do like a curveball.
No.
We were like, yeah, we're talking about like this and that. So like, about mental health. So we're gonna go with Senseless. So like that, I was like, whoa.
No, we're going with Antoine Fisher. So this is 2002 movie.
Mm-hmm.
Denzel Washington, Derek Luke, Joy Bryant.
Pretty sure it's Denzel Washington's directorial debut. If I'm not mistaken.
Was it?
Pretty sure it was.
I like that. We got Viola Davis. We got Leonard Earl, Yolanda Ross. Like it's a star-studded cast. We got look at it. Sun Kang was in here. Dude from Fast and Furious. Didn't even know that. Yeah. I have to go back.
I thought that was
check
Steve
that
Francis. That was like from the Houston Rockets, the Stevie franchise.
Yeah, that's out of control. Oh look, old boy from Doctor Strange is in there.
Yeah. That was his acting debut.
Was it?
It was.
Wow, look at that. Look at you throwing a gem on the gym.
But when I used to see him and stuff, like I used to go, oh shoot, the dude Antoine Fisher, but I never knew his name because it's like his name is like Juedy Okafor or something like that.
Yeah,
it's a really tough name.
Yeah, it's a tough name. So for those who don't know, Antoine Fisher is like a troubled youth. He ends up joining, I can't remember what line of service it is. I want to say Air Force.
I think it's Air Force. I think you're right.
And
it's the Marines. No, it is Air Force. It's Air Force.
Air Force. Oh, we'll say Air Force. I feel like for some reason he was on a boat, but I know it's some Air Forces.
Yeah, because he took off in the ship.
Right. So during that time, like this young man has like a lot of unaddressed trauma from like being like sexually abused as a young man, being like left abandoned. It's a lot of stuff he was working through. Long story short, a lot of that rolled over into like his emotions and how he deals with relationships. And a lot of that transferred into anger. And those anger outputs showed while he was in service. So he was always being reprimanded and disciplined. And one of the people that he was paired with to work on this so that he wouldn't be like dishonorably discharged or whatever was that of Denzel Washington. And they end up building a strong relationship to where he could have these tough conversations to where he goes to visit his old neighborhood and the people who have abused him. And he ends up growing into a man that nobody could believe that he would become. It's also based on a true story.
Antoine Fisher wrote and I think co-directed it with Denzel Washington.
Yes, his own story, which was just probably re-traumatizing in itself to have to go through that, relive it, and then re-heal from it. So
that's the same thing as a dude who directs Euphoria. It's the same thing.
Wow. So yeah, that's a tough situation to be able to do that. It takes a really strong person to be able to go through something and then go through it again. Because when you're directing it and you're telling a person, this is the type of emotions I had in this moment, like you are revisiting that trauma. So that's a really tough situation. That's where the iconic line comes from. I'm still standing. I'm still strong. I know.
Still here. Still standing. Still strong.
There you go. Appreciate that. So we've seen it in comedic situations and serious situations, but this is where that comes from. So I wonder if this is the first time we've seen Derek Luke.
No, he was definitely in like teen movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That.
Okay.
Like I don't think he was in like Save the Last Dance, but he was in a movie.
Maybe this
like
was the one that catapulted him.
It was his first starring role. Like he was a star.
Maybe that's what it was. But he killed it. Denzel is Denzel. It's like
come on now.
Right. I don't even know what you need to say about that. Ha ha ha.
That was your Denzel impression?
Throw that out. But yeah, so Antoine Fisher, that's where we're at with it. Go ahead and check it out. All right.
Do you have a Raisinet? Because I felt like you did.
I'm staying on the same topic. It's May. It's Mental Health Month. Do something that completely detaches you from everything.
So a lot of people I know right now are on vacations.
A lot of people are taking vacations right now. So I think we misunderstand the term rationally detaching and being able to not be connected. So I know you can say like, oh, I went on vacation and I won't be at work. But like you get an email and you're so instinctively looking at your phone to see that email, or you always have that one person from work and be like, I know you're on vacation, but like you should be able to go somewhere and turn your phone off and not be concerned about when you're turning it back on, or like the kids with the babysitter is good, or like you need to be able to just have a moment to where you step away from all of the ripping and the running and your mind going several different ways, to be able to just sit and just take in whatever is happening around you. Like if you're on the beach and you hear the water, that's fine. Or maybe you're at family's house and you're just watching the kids run around, like whatever it may be, you have to have a moment to where you're not thinking about everything else and you're just concerned about how you feel in the moment.
I agree. I think I have a hard time with that. Mm-hmm. Like it's something that, but it's like I said, I have a number of friends are on vacation right now. Mm-hmm. And like there's a lot of tough situations that happen, but like to me, like tough situations are always going to happen. Mm-hmm. And like they're gonna be here before you leave, they're gonna be here after you come back.
Thank you.
And it's like, you have I had to have like a couple conversations because they were just like, thinking about canceling trip. I'm like, please, like not just for me, for yourself, for all these people, like please take this vacation and go.
Right.
And I was like, and whatever's in the rearview mirror, like other people can figure it out. Like other people are grown.
Yes.
Like they're like, at the end of the day, you are not a firefighter. You are not a doctor. You are not a police officer.
Right.
You can't really do anything but worry while you're here.
Right.
You just come back and worry, but like you need this recharge time to get this stuff done. And it's like
the most important thing I heard you say is it will be there when you get, even if nobody else can solve it, it will be there when you get back. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that was really all there was to it. And it's like I looked at like, like we're on IG, Snapchat, and you see that, and I'm like, this is what I wanted. And it was like, and like I've gotten a couple of texts. It was like, I'm so glad that I decided to do that. I'm like, yes, this is what you need. This is what you deserve. Like, it can't all be doom and gloom all the time. You can't be ripping and running all the time. You have to be able to recharge, to even be able to see these things in a different light.
Right. You should have been like, why are you texting me? Enjoy your time.
No. Please text me. I'm in quarantine.
I know I was in the Bahamas and I didn't hit nobody up, but I did call Joel and he was like, you're in the freaking Bahamas. Why are you talking to me? I was like, because my dad wanted to talk to the diabolical diabetics.
You'd be amazed the amount of people that I have to say that to like all the time. Why are you calling me from like this place? And they're like, I just had to talk to you like real quick. I'm like, I don't even want to talk to you when you're here.
Bro, like I said, I didn't want to talk to you. He was just like, can you get the diabolical diabetic on the phone? I was like, I'm pretty sure he will answer if I call him. And sure enough, Joel blasted on me like, why are you calling me from the Bahamas? I was like, it's not me. My dad wants to talk to me. The man had ideas for the show and everything.
I was taking notes. I was in the garage. I was like, oh, that actually don't sound too bad. I'm still working on the old school songs and stuff like that. Like, working on it.
Right, because we don't know what old school is. Hey, old school is different from...
Oh, man. That's a whole different discussion.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So we mess around and get into a whole GOAT situation with music, and it'd be crazy.
Yeah, he was talking about like one group. I was like, yo, my parents weren't alive in that group. So I'm like, come on, bro. Like, granted, like I know who they are and I know some of their songs, but it's like you can't expect everybody to be jumping in on like the OJs and stuff like that. Like,
right. But we'll figure it out. But yes, please find some time to take care of yourself.
It's summertime. It's too beautiful outside to be stuck in your own head.
It is. I like that. Say it again.
So it's too beautiful outside to be stuck in your own head.
Man.
It's Mental Health Awareness Month. Take care of yourself, your mental check engine light.
I'm gonna leave it at that. I love that.